probably like, I would say that they've been on potentially a 3-month hiatus. I'm looking at their player list now. I think that 2 players on that team, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it is spelled Ammzij. That's going to be very, very fun to cast. Him and D-Wad, I believe, have always been on that team, but I don't know about the other 2 players. In fact, I know that one of the players, Xvolution, used to play for Pompa Team, as well as someone else. I'm not exactly sure who, but that sort of long-standing fun thing that happens during casting, which is seeing Panda Team and Pompa Team, 2 very similar team names. And actually, I know for a while that those 2 teams were switching players a lot. So
doing it just to spite you.
And they're still doing it. They're still doing it. I think that Xvolution played with Pompa not 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I don't know what's going on, but I do know that this week we only have Panda Team. So that's the team to be looking at, in my opinion, and also Bonzo Team, one of the top 2 placing teams from last week. Both EU teams, both should come out pretty strong, come out swinging.
Yeah, I'll be looking at Team Rarity today, I think. I'd like to see them come out strong. And I mean, it's a 4-game series, so you're going to have to come out strong if you want to take home the first place prize. But I'd say Team Rarity would be my vote for today.
Yeah, all right. And obviously, we're mostly picking these teams because they're not probably going to win. Like they have a good chance of like top 5. But if we're talking winning, then like Team Ready, who is also playing with us today, kind of hard to beat. kind of a relatively good team.
It's
relatively
doable.
Good team. One of like the top performing teams in EPL, I would say. But yeah, they're playing with us today. That's the roster of Iro, Sixmo, Mert Gungor, sadly, will not be playing with them today, so they will be playing a sub, as are a couple of other teams, sadly. We have a Team Almost as well, who will be forced to play with the sub as well as I think that potentially Polar Ace, a team that's been playing us with us quite a bit, will be using a sub as well. Darth Vapor, I don't think is going to be playing with them this week. I see, yep, Amo is going to be playing with them today. I don't think that he normally plays on Polar Ace. So there's going to be a lot of teams switching up quite a bit.
I think he plays with YPG.
Yellow Pike Gaming.
I do believe so, Ammo,
okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But yeah, he's subbing in for them today. I think Polar Ace would be a good team to watch for today as well. I mean, realistically, I'd say any of these teams do have a shot at taking home the prize.
Sure, it's PUBG.
Yeah, it's PUBG. So all it takes is having one good day of PUBG to get in the money here. And so if you show up and game 1 and 2, you get 10, 15 kills, set yourself up with a good amount of points going into rounds 3 and 4.
That's true.
You allow yourself to do a completely different play style than having to play passive and make sure you get the win. It allows you to take some of the pressure off those later games, and so I could see it happening.
Yeah, and also something important to note as well is that we are going to, oh, that's interesting. We are going to be using some new score settings. Going along to the rest of the competitive scene. We actually ended up using this last week, and it was nuts. A lot of early fights, and in general, if you guys aren't aware of what it is, essentially, the score system, loot system, and circle settings have all been overhauled. So the scores are much more toned down as far as like the point totals go. You get 10 points for a win, and it goes down from there until around 9th place. And 9th through 16th get 0 points. Yeah. On top of that, 1 kill point. So a ton of points. I think you said it was 10% of placement points like per kill going for kill points rather. Yep. So that's going to be much more important now compared to the old system. To sort of correlate with this, there are loot and circle settings that incentivize taking fights earlier and pretty much cut the loot time down drastically. So you're going to see a lot more people either going for early pushes, or we're going to see a lot of people vying for control of compounds going into the mid and potentially even the end game. And in the early game, a lot of camped rotations. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff going on as we are going to be soon going into our first game of SSL 43 this week.
Yeah. And just to talk a little bit more about the loot settings, I just want to note the sniper rifles and the designated marksman rifles, the DMRs, they're turned up to 5.4. They're 5.4 times as often spawned. And so it's like, you literally get your choice of weapons, and you go in each game and you're going to get your ideal loadout, whatever gun you want to rock.
Unless you really want a DP28.
Yeah,
which is kind of disappointing really to not be seeing that gun, because it was already one of those guns where it's just like, you know what? Yeah, the DP-28's pretty good. Like, you use it a little bit. Like, you know, it's not like, oh yeah, the DP-28 is great. Like, you can't have to talk like this when you're talking about the DP-28 because it isn't the best gun in the world. But when you use it, it's like surprisingly good.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be seeing much of it because LMGs were turned down to, I think it was 0.8 overall, which does mean that 1.8 multiplier overall times 0.8. It's going to be a little bit more common than it used to be, but nowhere near as common as any other AR, as any other DMR, as any other sniper rifle. It's going to be all less common, overall less common in the other weapons, which is kind of disappointing because I love my LMGs, I love my DP-28s, I love my M249s, and I hope we can see them a lot this game.
I mean, the DP-28, it has a place in the game. If you go crouch with it, it doesn't have too much recoil, and so it takes certain stipulations. Like, you really don't want to be standing up and shooting it full auto because of the kick on it, but once you go crouch or prone, it's actually a viable weapon, and then if you tack on, like, maybe a moving vehicle into that scenario, it actually starts to be pretty viable.
Yeah, that being said, though, as far as like, the magazine size, it's like, all right, yeah, the DP, it has like, it's an LMG, so the magazine's big. 7 more bullets than an AK.
Almost 50 is the way I like to phrase it. Almost 50. It makes it sound like there's more.
Yeah, it just feels so bad. Like the DP, it could be like a really good gun. But it's like, well, the AK has 40 rounds, and people use it a lot more, so they're more used to it. With a compensator, it's probably just better. But, you know, the reset rate's pretty good. There's a bunch of things that are like pretty good about it. We're spending a lot of time talking about a gun that you will literally not see today. So let's go ahead and talk about this flight plan that we have here for game 1. I feel like this is pretty good. It pretty much cuts it right down the center. But this does make Georgia Pool a difficult city to get to, which is something that I talk about sometimes, which I'm not sure how relevant it is anymore. You know, it's Georgia Pool, big city, 5 teams or so can be in it, good for loot. But we're in settings where you don't really need a city that big anymore to loot.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it nail on the head. You had a longer loot period too in the previous settings, so driving
almost twice as long.
Yeah, driving to a city that's outside your plane path wasn't necessarily the worst strategy. But now you're cutting into a lot of your loot time because you only have a few minutes to loot anyways, and so having to drop down to a vehicle and then make it all the way over to the city is just not as ideal anymore.
And in a scenario, in a meta where camped rotations are really, really popular. Yeah. So if someone knows you're going to Georgia Pool and they know when you're going to be late, they can pretty much map out exactly when and where you're going to be coming in from, and you know, send 1 or 2 guys out there and just see if they can take you out on rotation. In fact, I saw IG Sangal from last week or 2 weeks ago. They literally had Buyakai out on his own in the phase 5 camping rotations. But real quick, let's talk about this real quick. Stalber having Rarity and Bonzo team dropping in the same spot. We're already watching Mara here with a 4X M16, almost literally kitted for the end game here. As it looks like they are going to be splitting up Stalber pretty much on the east and west sides here. Rarity, though.
K9 already, too.
Oh my god, I didn't even see that. Rarity have 2 guys here, Subtle and Deadeye. They already got M4, so they're looking to make a push here. Bonzo quite spread, but Fuji PU from Rarity, I'm a little bit worried because it looks like a lot of Rarity don't have loot homes right now. That being said, going for a fight early on, as we might even see Rarity find Mara. Oh, he didn't see him. He didn't see him. Oh, but his teammate did. He's going to be able to put some fire out there. Subtle going for the Molotov on the follow-up, but not going to be there as Morrow has since then gotten out of dodge. We do see Rajku, the teammate of Bonzo team, coming in here to try and provide some reinforcement. Subtle might have seen on that peak there. But with an AK at that range, Rajku is going to be relatively ineffective to do anything more than sort of harass him from range.
Yeah. That was some good scouting from Morrow. He peeked around the corner, saw the enemies were there, and then quickly backed off. And, I mean, he could have gotten a free point if he would have played it a little slower, because Subtle, I don't think, spotted him. Maybe Deadeye did, though.
I think Deadeye did.
Okay.
I think Deadeye did.
Well, I mean, either way, it looks like we might. Both these teams want these early points, and so I think we're going to see actual contestation in a 2v2 here. I don't know if Fuge was off to the south, if he actually had a weapon or not. I didn't see any in his hand.
He was just running out in the middle of nowhere, man. There's no way he has a gun. And even if he does, it takes him so long to loot that warehouse compound and come on back. Rashku, I don't think he saw Deadeye there over the wall. We see with the X-ray that he could have barely seen his head peeking out over those rocks. But even if he did see that movement, like, you know, there's the camouflage, the terrain, it's kind of to see certain people in certain circumstances like that. Bonzo team, though, no backpacks that we see on their players. They need to find some loot, and especially with the zone moving a little bit faster. We actually don't even know what the zone looks like right now. If we want to go ahead and see that real quick. Okay, they're not too far, so it isn't that bad of an idea to sit here for too long if you want to see how the fight pans out.
Severny fighting as well. Yeah, Yaznaya contested.
Oh, yeah.
These early fights, and this is an interesting contention from Yasnaya. You have Team Ready split through the entirety of Yasnaya, but somewhat favoring the south side of it. You do have Beautiful Deaths that's across the road on the north side, but you usually see the east side and the west side split. Not so much a few people on the north, one person on the south, and then the team directly in the middle of them.
It's almost like Team Ready didn't expect to be contested, and they're just like, they just dropped it wherever that they thought was most efficient. Like we have Iro in one of the best spots in town, the Far East Side, at the prison and the mansion. We do have these apartments being looted over here, which is literally the least efficient buildings in the game. They are the safest, however, so it's one of the kind of things where it's like, okay, they are split, yes, but half their team is almost never going to get pushed, and if they do, it is a mistake here. So it would be interesting to see that happens. I actually do think that, I'm pretty sure that this is Zwitap that we see here, looting alongside Team Ready. Let me see if I can confirm that. Yeah, this is going to be Zwitap 2-tap, as Zwei in German means two.
Ah, I like it. That's a cool name. I like their logo a little bit more, the sloth.
Doesn't really
I don't know
suit
how
the
it,
name.
yeah, I was about to say, I don't know how it correlates to 2-tap, but I have been told that sloths, they might be able to 2-tap.
You know, the reason why I know that is because I know what Zwei means because I play Dark Souls. Zwei hander, two-hander, big sword. So maybe sloths use Zwei hander.
I could see it. I could see it.
I don't know what sloths in Germany are like. Maybe they're very, very aggressive there.
I mean, I honestly, I don't know enough about them to dispute that.
Why are we paying you again? You're not a sloth expert? What are you doing here?
I would say I'm a mini expert, which we just saw mime with, trying to shoot off with a red dot. That's not an easy shot to hit from that range.
I do think that Team Almost was only able to get the western third of Severny, whereas Mutant Gaming, the team in green, was able to get the entire rest of it. So definitely backing off early is the way to go. They were also able to secure a UAZ. Mime was an evasion, a shooting range area. It does mean they will be able to walk away with some loot here. However, looking back over here, Zwitap getting pretty close to Team Ready in his apartments. Reggie Beardo playing as though he has absolutely heard this team already, peeking these windows, seeing if he can get anything done. But in the kill feed, we do see a fight breaking out between Polarace and Winzy, wherever that is occurring. It's going to be our first blood of the day. It's going to be in, once again, Dead Man's Town, once again living true to its name as Polarace is, once again, they show up here early in multiple games, and they have lost a couple of players in multiple games here as well, as we do see Loganberg getting it down to Corey, switch back down here as well, Zin and their team on the high ground, but only having a bush here and a ridge line as he is trapped, surrounded on both sides by both Loganberry and Amo. Sixel under a lot of pressure, but look at this X-Bar with a third party from the compound to the northeast pinching Polarace. So this push, this pinch that they were pushing, that they were holding, while at the beginning looked very, very good, now is much more awkward with the third-party presence coming in from the northeast.
Yeah, and Spark, like, where are your teammates? He's just kill hungry here. He wants these extra points. He says, you know what, guys? I hear these gunshots. They're fighting. They're not concerned with where I am. So I'm going to go ahead and snag us a point or two, maybe still a kill, and then just back off. I don't know if he's wanting to get fully engaged in it, but overall, I mean, like, these are just free points out for the grabs. I mean, I don't think Loganberry knew Dirty Zen got inside that two-story, and so Loganberry is in a pretty bad position here, especially if Spark and some of his friends decide to push up behind him.
You know, I'm pretty sure that Polarace remembered the fight that happened here last week. They remember getting wiped by Vicious Gaming. They're saying, we got to learn how to fight these compounds. Even though we're down a player, we're going to take these guys out. Somehow, Winzy was able to get all these reses off. That is absolutely insane that they were able to do that in such a horrible situation. They didn't lose that sociopath during this, which is definitely like a really good fragger on that team. But to walk away from that with Corey, Dirty Zen, and Sixel all up in the compound is very, very nice. However, looking around, we do have Loganberry building to the north, Ronan and co. still looking for shots from their south, and a third party that is from X-Bar that has claimed this compound. So playing outside on these outside building, outside cover, could mean that a third party could either down you in a spot where you weren't expecting, or steal a kill if you get that down and you're trying to look to finish it yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, they're inside the circle, so they've got time to fight this. It's not like they're necessarily pressured. They got a minute 14 before the first phase even closes in, and then they're going to have a couple minutes after that before the next phase moves. And so they don't have to do anything too risky, like do a hardcore push. Loganberry is stuff inside this compound.
Yeah, we see he's going left, like, I can't go that way, I can't go, this is just awkward. Actually, Ammo's situation isn't that good either. Like, he can't do too much. Ronan as well, and feeling too hot. And oh my god, as we go away, Sixel blowing the head off of Loganberry.
Ammo's down to two-shot as well.
Yeah, he's getting hit from the other compound. It looks like he backed off before that as soon as Loganberry went down. Ammo literally at one shot. The stims are the only thing keeping him going, but it looks like that Polar Ace will be able to back off, get to cover, and once again, and as a part of this compound fight, be knocked down effectively out of this game. Going into the end game as a 2-man in these settings is not a good time.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal. I mean, they were able to snag 1 point, and so they're at least got their name on the leaderboards. But at the same time, 1 point's just not enough for losing 2 members.
Kill feed, we see Iro getting himself down with a car, sadly. It looks like they were able to get the res off here. Memo Effect able to help him out here. I'm not exactly sure how it happened with a Dacia and a buggy. It's pretty difficult to kill yourself.
The buggy's smoking too.
Something happened here. I'm not sure exactly what.
The buggy's got a story to tell.
It certainly does. Maybe we can get Ira back in for another interview and just ask him, how did you kill yourself? The buggy? What happened there? Still 60 players alive, however. Very interesting to see. Sunken City, the city in dead center of zone, having 2 teams in. We see a fight break out here, but another fight breaking out potentially as Panda team on top of the spine, camping some rotations out. We did see that. Oh goodness, what team was that? Soon TM was able to sneak by there with some of their teammates, but we see Awesome Homesick trying to sneak his way past as well. It looks like Muff Butter and Phobes were able to get on by to the north, now sitting on top of Potato Hill, and now Homesick is trying to make his way there as well after losing 1 player on rotation.
Yeah, and I mean, Potato Hill is not terrible. You can scout out pretty much what you need to for your next rotation, but they probably aren't going to want to stay up there too long.
Uh-oh. Almost Mime is looting, but I think he hurt something. He's now prone on top of this hill. Tanaka going for push. Let's see, he's playing for Team Almost this week as well. Good addition to their team. I think that he'll be able to get a lot of stuff done. I know they're friends as well, but trying to get a little bit closer to we know we suck. That's the team of the player that's out in the purple right now. Dablo and the rest of the boys in the, I guess it's called a 4-stack over here. We don't really talk about that comment too much because it isn't too relevant on Erangel, but they will be finding themselves holding this, actually this 3-stack over here on this, the south side of the town, while Ace 12 holds the far east side, the much more common area we do see players tend to hold.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to hold Watertown, it's this 3-stack or where Ace is, you don't typically see a full team on Team Almost location. So I wonder, I don't think they even know that Team Almost is there. That's why they're being so sneaky. Yeah, so if Team Almost gets a single knock, then I'm sure they're going to full 4-man engage and try to pick up more.
Oh God, what is happening here? There's a bunch of stuff popping off in the middle of the far east side of the zone, excuse me. Zweitab able to get a third party and potential down on the Exodus. That down might translate into a kill. The X-Mark was able to crawl behind tree cover behind a wall as well, so he will not be an easy kill for sure. And yeah, Double not liking his odds too much. He is in the middle of the open, one errant angle, and he could find himself getting shot from a spot he didn't consider. Going to be backing on off, going back to his cover. A couple of cars on this hillside as well. A good spot for them to hold for now here in Phase 2. A minute left before the shrink finishes, and Phase 3 pops as well.
I just want to take note on the loot real quick. 4 first aids, plenty of utility, hundreds of bullets of ammo.
Mini with a 6X.
Mini 6X. And then I saw his teammate had the M24 8X. So it's like these guys are literally getting any gun they want, and they're fully kitted going into this. And so whenever you have a team like Team Ready, able to get whatever guns they want, and they can put, the sniper or the DMR in 6-mode hand or in Iro's hand, they just got even more better.
Team Ready, they are doing a little bit of a scouting here. Oh, Hockey, unfortunately, running out of ammo, not able to take out 6-mode before he goes over that ridge line. They might have been able to take him out there. This is actually a really weird game, I feel, for these teams. We still have 59 alive. We're 12 minutes in. We're in a situation where I feel like we should have seen more people pushing, taking team fights, but we haven't gotten there yet. So we're going to be seeing a boiling point reminiscent of the previous meta, the previous settings of Comp PUBG. And I think this time it's going to be a lot more destructive and a lot more chaotic because people are going to be trying to get more kills. People are going to be trying to sneak in. There's going to be a lot of people taking a lot of shots here. As the new zone does pop. We see Zweitab are already ready on the move, and it's going to be a ruin circle, 2 crates, as well as an open area in the ruins, rewarding anyone who shows up there first. It looks like Rarity is going to be going on there, but Exodus trying to get themselves ready as well, but not going to be before Zweitab is moving on around their north side. Exodus just a little bit too slow in the uptake here.
Yeah, Zweitab, I thought there was Iro with the headshot into Xvolution. Looks like they're just going to begin their rotation process on that. I don't know if they're wanting to fully engage with this team or not.
Death's just going, man.
Yeah. Maybe Iro has a vehicle further up, or he just wants to get different cover. Okay. Yeah, I think that was it. He was just wanting to get to cover.
Yeah, Memo's picking up. That's good. So they will be able to get on by 6-1 leading the way, Death following. Meanwhile, Mars having a third team show up. It's going to be Black, Shugu, and the rest of the Super Saiyans going up here. Almost will spot them and take some shots. So on the far south side, we know we suck. Didn't know they were here before. They certainly do now. They're even able to take down Shugu after a friendly fire from Ryozen. That's really, really unfortunate for that to occur right now. Unable to protect it. They're down here. Now all 4 players from this purple team, though, will be popping in on the south side, getting as close as they can to Team Almost without finding an actual push. But Team Almost not overpeaking, not getting themselves down. Neither they do get down with the cover they have and the place they find themselves in right now. It'll be very hard to find a flush there.
Yeah, I mean, if you get the knock, you're going to have to immediately push because you're likely not going to be able to flush it out unless maybe a nade comes in. I'm really liking Team Ready's position. This is where I thought Zwitap was going to rotate to. Zwitap stopped pretty much right on the edge of circle, but had they just kept sending it in, they would have found themselves in arguably the best position.
They did lose Iroh on the way there, though.
That's true.
So they only have 3 players up, so it's a really, really good spot, potentially one of the only spots going into the zone later into the game. But will they be able to hold it with 3? We'll also ask that question later, as it looks like right now they're not going to be too contested. The closest team to them is to the west, holding the yellows and holding this compound. Literally no incentive to leave here. That's going to be the Teletubbies off to their west, who will simply be sitting these yellows trying to hold here for as long as they can. They have quite a few cars. And once again, I can't stress this enough. I feel like we're watching like old comp PUBG. No one's going for pushes. No one's taking one of your own squad fights. And that's going to be really, really hard later on. As I can see, as though we have Team Almost pushing into this 3-stack. Mine already getting one down, just spraying NMS down. And his teammates are nowhere to be seen, holding their own respective buildings. Looks like Mine clearing this building, clearing an entryway for Team Almost into this compound. And they're allowed to take their time here as well. It's not Innovation, though, making their way into the last building as Gangs Delicious, spelled backwards for some reason, and Dablo are trying to see this building, trying to frag it out. Looks like they haven't found a correct Molotov or frag to get another down here. So We Suck So What are still going to be holding strong in this 2v4 situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing they're in the same building. It makes holding that building a little bit more viable. But overall, if Team Almost gets one knock, they're just going to be overwhelmed, and a 4-man rush against one is not going to play out. So We Suck So What really needs to make sure they don't get knocked at this point. And maybe if they hold out long enough, then the team to their north, Black and Friends, are going to be able to work their way in and try to third party and maybe help out and take out some members from Team Almost.
Gangs Delicious trying to go prone, making a little bit of noise. Look at me, they go to the peak, goes for the long spray, but isn't quite able to make it work. Luckily, he's going to be backing off before he can actually get taken down here. But Almost, they're moving around that building. They might be looking for a push soon. Some frags coming in as well, but before they come in, they will be backing off further into the building. Dablo's trying to hold this angle from Evasion, checking some frags. But meanwhile, the rest of the team Almost going for a push on the first floor. They go in, Dablo immediately goes down, leaving only Gangs Delicious left. He does get another down, but no flush, no kills. Great stuff from this team. I think the Gangs Delicious actually jumped down.
He was by the bathroom.
Yeah.
That was a great play from Team Almost. They started with the knock and then immediately pushed. Wow, look, talk about that boiling point. We went from 16 teams, and then we see one team fight, and boom, we're down to 12.
I mean, the entire time the fight was going on, the kill feed was just like going off that entire time. So there was a lot of meaningful kills that we didn't actually get to see because so much stuff was happening all at once there. A little unfortunate, but that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Looking at the zone as well, more teams being going to ruins. On the southwest side as well, PLAYERUNKNOWN'S esports in Latin America, they always have rotation problems. This is so unfortunate. I think they actually lost that player to a... I'm not sure if he even got shot out of his car, but he will almost certainly get finished by Rarity, who is holding this set of buildings that is so incredibly strong at this stage of the game if they're actually in, able to keep their cars nice and safe as well, even one of them under the overhang in case of a potential red zone that somehow makes its way into this game, even though we've turned them off. Looks like, however, with some smoke, it will be possible for PLAYERUNKNOWN'S esports to get the res on their down player. FujiPO looks like he was trying to get some work done, but with the tree providing hard cover and the smoke providing concealment, easy to maneuver their way in there.
Polar Ace going down in 12th place after losing some inmates early. This kind of just goes to say, like, if you are going to go out early, at least pick up a couple points and
a couple of kills.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, get yourself one, and that's exactly what Polar Ace did. I don't think I saw their names in the kill feed any time after that, besides when they died. Yeah. And so, I mean, it's an unfortunate way to start a 4-game series, but at least you got 1 point.
Yeah, and that's really impactful because last week, 43, 42, 42.
Yeah, exactly.
With
Like,
second, third, and fourth place.
Yep. A point makes a difference.
Yeah. A ton of a difference, especially when the end game scores are so much tighter. On the southeast side, though, we're seeing a fight break out between Panatine and Winzy. They already have 9 kills. They've been doing so much murdering. Even if they die here, they're going to be completely okay with that. DWAD here, he does have Xvolution down, who is now getting flushed here, trying to find some work with this frag. If this frag doesn't get work done, then he's going to be in trouble. It looked pretty good. It did some damage, but no downs, which means DWAD and Amzi are going to be in a lot of trouble as this ridgeline DWAD is in is not in zone. He didn't make smoke cover in the zone, but this ridgeline he's walking in might still be in. No, it actually is not, so he's gonna need to keep moving, and once that happens, Winzy is gonna be in such a good spot. Meanwhile, Ams trying to hold these guys out.
He got him with the Molotov.
Oh, he did. Oh, no. Corey's burning alive, but it's not going to be quite enough damage. They will be able to get the res. Trying to go in the blue. But oh, my God.
He's done.
Is he going to make it? No, it's not going
kills.
to happen. 10 kills going in for Panatine, as well as Winzy. Zin actually using the smoke to try and loot up a little bit. Looks like he might have ran out of meds there. This ridge line for Winzy is still barely in, but it looks like DWAD and Ams, I'm just going to call him Ams, I think, for this game, because it's a little bit weird, the last bit there. But they will just be backing off a little bit, using this ridgeline, using the UAZs as hard cover against Winzy, and actually disengaging, going off to their west. And this is important to do for them, because look at the zone. They need to go north, so they need to find some way, either by killing this team or by avoiding them, to get in the new zone, and they need to do it now. The problem is, there's a team in the yellows just to the north. They will need to either fight or sneak by that as well, and that's pretty hard, because that team in the yellows have been doing literally nothing all game. They're going to be 100% capability. They're only going to be looking out. It's going to be really hard to get through that for them.
The only way I see them making it into the next zone, Ams and friends, is grabbing that UAZ.
Double! With a double kill there onto Yuso. Evasion going as well. A beautiful spray from this player as almost teammates Mime and Tanaka off to the far north and west sides are trying their best to split up and sneak into the ruins. It looks like they saw the zone and they were saying there's no way with 37 alive that we break our way into this. We gotta split up, we gotta sneak in, and half the team did get taken down during that strategy. So I guess if half the team gets taken down, that actually does make it a kind of a good idea if you lose players like that. Meanwhile, though, it looks like Tanaka will drown, as he did get spotted here by Lazy J and Black. So it's either drown or give someone kill points. And we were just talking about how important kill points were. You not want to be giving those to enemy teams in these scenarios.
Winzy going down in 11th, so it does look like, I can't remember what team they were fighting. It was Ams and friend off to the south there.
They ended up getting taken down by Teletubbies, though, who was holding the yellows, holding those houses on the south side.
Yeah, so it looks like Ams and friend do have somewhat of free rotation if they get that UAZ. So meanwhile, Mime just hiding out behind these boxes, praying the Zwaytap, I think?
Zwaytap.
Zwaytap, yeah. Don't push in and find him. I mean, it's a decent hiding spot, but it's also one that's somewhat regularly checked.
Yeah, it's really popular. Not even checked. It's just like some teams just hold that. Yeah. So it might actually be seeing as Zwaytap move over there only because they want a better spot. That being said, the runes they're holding right now are actually quite strong, especially as far as going further west. That being said, Team Ready still holding center zone. Very, very good spot to be considering they only have 3 players up. Looking over here, DWAD and Ams in a lot of trouble as they're getting pinched in the west, pinched in the east. Mammoth will be able to take Amzi down as it looks like Mammoth able to get that kill. I think that we might have had a PC crash. We'll be seeing
crash, yeah.
I think that we might be back on us now, so I'll just talk as if we are. So to talk about the state of that game, people are just not dying this game.
I mean, the boiling point definitely hit later in the game than what we had seen last week, at least. And I'm not entirely sure if that's just because of the circles that we saw last week and then compared to the one that we saw today, or if it's because people are trying to still fill out the new point system, because we got some new teams in this week. There was I don't know how many returned from last week, but I saw a lot of new team names between this week and last week's. Yeah. And so this might be the first time they're playing on this point system. So they're still trying to maybe get a feel for it.
And whereas last week, I think the teams we had last week as well were just like a lot more teams that are very, very used to like competitive style. Yeah. So they did a lot of theater crafting with the new settings, and they were just like, this is how we should play this. We're going to be super aggro, we're going to be looking for kills all the time, whereas this week they're just saying like, all right, I've seen some comp, I know how you're supposed to play, you know, I watched PGI, I know what this should look like. And then it's like, nah, PGI ain't the meta anymore, man. You got to be going for kills, you got to be going for fights. I do understand in this zone not going for fights, because in the games we saw last week, it was very, very easy to isolate yourselves and then sort of take 1v1 fights at almost every stage in the game, either by making a compound crash or by simply seeing someone early and saying, screw it, W mouse 1, let's see what happens if we just like throw ourselves at them and take a 50-50 squad fight. But there weren't many times at any stage of the game where people were allowed to do that. Like there were a couple of hot drops in cities, but almost every single one of those hot drops was just like one team has the much better spot, one team has, you know, a small chunk, and in every single one of those times, the team that had the better loot location didn't go for a push. Looking over here, the zone's much smaller. We've lost about 10 players in that time, and as Mime, still alive, able to take down Marcelic from, I think that is Bonzo team, and able to back off further east, finding himself a little snug rock formation to hide behind, barely in the zone as well. Unfortunately, he had to shoot to get here, but almost impossible to find, impossible to check, unless exactly Marcelic tries to find some revenge on this player. 30 seconds before the shrink, who's going to be forced out?
Yeah. Oh, double nade onto Reggie and Hockey. And, I mean, these kills that they're getting here, it's worth noting, a 5th place is only 3 points. So wiping a squad, a 4-point gain, is better than getting a 5th place. So Team Almost, even though they went out in 12th place, they had wiped a four-man squad. So they automatically, on placement points alone, are taking a 4th place.
There's only 2 4-man teams left, I think, at this point. I think it's just Bonzo team to the north and Teletubbies who actually ousted Team Ready as well to 10-1 man. Actually,
Rarity
you're right.
off to the south. They've been hanging out in those buildings the entire time.
Chilling.
I don't know if they have a single kill.
I don't think they do, actually, because I think that every fight they're a part of, they just force other people away, and then if they were forced by other teams here. Mime began to move around a little bit. He realizes that he is not going to be in zone. Meanwhile, this church, the walls are still in, so it will be good enough for now. So they can actually afford to stay here. Marcelic, he got down. He knows someone's over there. They're even chucking some frags over there as well, trying to find Mime. But those rocks make it very, very hard to confirm that. He did get, I think that Mime got knocked to 1 HP from that frag, so we forced him back up and heal. But Rarity going to be pushing on in. Ibis 10 from Teletubbies spotted him out there during this movement. Rarity is working with very, very little hard cover, but a frag pretty close, but not close enough.
Oh!
We'll take him down, and Ibis and Manic, while we were looking away, killed all of them.
There we go. 9 kills to their name so far, with 16 still alive. Well, I guess 12 enemies still alive. If they take home the win, they're looking at a 20-point game easy, and that for a 4-game series, that is huge.
Oh yeah, that is going to be really hard to deal with. Meanwhile, 3 players up, PLAYERUNKNOWN'S esports, they're just crowding around this tree. How are they allowed to do this? It's like no one's watching them, so it's kind of okay.
It's the line of sight. They're above everyone. I mean, going down this next ridge is gonna be awful, but like if they prone here, no one can see them. I think even if they're standing up, they're probably pretty safe.
Okay, and they have a couple of trees on the way into the zone, but either way, it looks like Teletubbies are in one of the best spots this game. They can move around a lot. They have a little bit of high ground and some chest high walls. They've even spotted at this point PLAYERUNKNOWN'S esports Latin America on the far west side, who are still, by the way, we know they're a strong team, but they're still looking for their first top 2 placement to make their way in to the finale at the end of the season. They're definitely a team that deserves to be there. I've seen how they play, especially Sizzy with his amazing game sense. They have really, really good calls besides their early game rotations as well. So they're able to make it here with 3 players up, which means that they can do some stellar things. And looking over here, Teletubbies, they've been fighting for pretty much the entirety of the mid game. They might be running low on resources. I actually saw only a couple of Megas on this one play, but Sizzy over here making his way in. Kleiman does not suspect someone to be wrapping around the side of the zone, but over here, it looks like that he is called back as the high ground from this team is still in. This is the exact right play to make because the position that the Teletubbies are holding is not in. They will be forced into the high ground position of PLAYERUNKNOWN'S esports.
Yeah, PLAYERUNKNOWN'S esports just got gifted a huge circle because now the teams that need to make it in, I mean, they could play where Beautiful Death is, but then if PLAYERUNKNOWN'S esports have any grenades, that's just free pickings. Like, that's one of the easiest nades to hit.
I think that Teletubbies have to, though.
Yeah, well, Teletubbies might push up on this south side and try to contest PLAYERUNKNOWN'S esports for the high ground. That's honestly what I would call to do because there's with 16 alive, you're probably thinking there's 5 to 7, 5 to 8 teams, and the majority of them are going to be on the east side.
But they can't do that while Bonzo team is still there. They're trying, and actually, that's why you see them focusing so much pressure over there. They actually will take out Rocky Cutie there on the far north side, so getting out a lot of good work here. They need to make sure they don't push down into the ruins, though. They're saying that these ruins are not a problem, but if they push down, then all of these snakes, all these people hiding here will force ourselves. People fighting in the high ground, people hiding in the low ground. The low ground is a scary place to be if you're a team, though. That is an easy way to lose pretty much all your plays. Look at that, Magic actually taking down our show and finishing them off here. So good use of high ground. Meanwhile, almost Mime able to take down 2 players from Bonzo team. Mime making a lot of good work happen, but not before once again Teletubbies just holding the high ground, able to secure every single knock below them. And that help provided by Teletubbies taking down Mime will allow Bonzo team to get these results off, sort of restructure themselves, but also they are now forced to play the low ground. But meanwhile, over here, PLAYERUNKNOWN'S esports making a push onto the Teletubbies. They took too much time in the low ground, and now they're getting pushed on their south flank here. That being said, how many ridges there are, it's hard to land the exact frag you need to take these players out.
Yeah, you really have to cook it to perfection. Otherwise, it's just going to bounce all the way down to the bottom of the hill. Which is why, like, if they were at the bottom of the hill where Beautiful Death is, that's kind of an easier nade to hit. But if they're in these ridges, it just kind of bounces and goes to the next ridge.
Oh my God, look at that stability there from Ibis.
Maro taking down MTG. We are down to our 4 teams. And now these are into the serious placement points, because at 4, you start to get 4 points. That's a squad wipe. And so 4 is 4th, then 3 is 5 points.
Does Death win these?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I think he's going to get spotted by iOS 10 right here.
Oh, yep, he does. As they say it.
Yep.
5 kills for Ibis alone on a rampage. That's, I think they're 11th to the 12th kill here. There's a 3-way fight going on, but once again, Ibis, this man is just on fire, getting another kill here on to Kleinman. That means a couple of trades happening on all 3 fights, as all 3 teams, forced by the blue, are pushing into the exact same spot at the exact same time. If we can get, yeah, let's look at this aerial view. This really tells the entire story here, as you're beginning to see the Teletubbies with 2 knocks trying to hold on. But Harold, he smells blood. He's going for a big push, grabbing the hardcover on the rock, using the Groza to try and just shove his way here at close range, spotting Ibis. He's into his wrist, takes a lot of damage from Ibis on the retake as well. But there's so many players barely getting back into cover. But I think he got shot in the back by Marcelic from Bonzo team, who, while this fight is going on, yeah, PLAYERUNKNOWN'S esports did not finish this fight fast enough, and now they're getting third party by Bonzo. We're making magic happen. As I'm saying that, Teletubbies finishing the partner on the south side, but getting finishing them off. I actually have no idea what happened to Bonzo at the end there.
Third party from Teletubbies. That was the story of the third party. That was literally rock, paper, scissors. Teletubbies was fighting Bonzo. PLAYERUNKNOWN'S esports was fighting Teletubbies, and Bonzo was fighting PLAYERUNKNOWN'S esports. And it came out with Teletubbies on the end, or with the win. 16 kills. And a pretty even spread between everyone. Snip, where you at, dude?
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, that's toxic. I should have called him out. But either way, a 16 kill win plus the 10 points. That's 26 points.
You can't really beat
26
that.
points. That's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that's more points than some of these teams will get in 4 games.
Yeah.
They might not get half of that in 4 games. So the teams that want to try to take out Teletubbies, they're going to have to show up these next 3 games.
How are you going to do that? Like, they played really conservative, like, that entire game until the end game, and they just killed everyone. They got 16 kills from phase 5 onward. They didn't do anything in phases 1 through 4. They found some yellows, and they were just like, oh, this seems like a good place to just chill out. Like, oh, just like stretch out, like sort of sunbathe on the roof. You can do that with those yellows, just climb on top of them. They didn't have to do anything. Right. They didn't get any kills. Like, so they're really, really good at positioning themselves in spots in the early games, and then not overcommitting to like the compounds and like not sitting there for too long, like Rarity arguably did on the far southwest edge. And they were even able to push in when they knew they had to, force Team Ready out of center zone, and then catapulted themselves from that spot into multiple game-winning spots, even as well. Going into that mid and the end game, you were saying that like you think that they had to push that high ground, but they did a little bit, but more so they were just like, they were fighting Bonzo team across from them, got a surprising amount of damage on them. Like, they got like 2 knocks. They got that, one of them resulted in a kill. They forced Bonzo team into the low ground themselves, where they got picked to pieces by one or two solos. Mime specifically from Team Almost was a huge thorn in the side of Bonzo team.
Yeah.
And then at that point, they were like, all right, it's too late to push the high ground, but these ridges are actually like really, really good. Like we can actually take cover behind these, have cover from both Bonzo on our north that are in the ruins and Player One Esports that are above us to our west.
Yep.
And then at that point, Bonzo was just like, all right, we're not in anymore. Like we can't stay here. So they pushed up north. They actually got behind Player One Esports. That could have been, a very, very different game at that point. Yeah, all I knew by that point was that Player One Esports was not winning. Yeah. with one team behind them.
Honestly, that could have went either way, and it just comes down to the fact that Bonzo team chose to third-party Player One Esports. That Bonzo team would have chose to push Teletubbies, that could have easily been a different game, and it could have worked out in Player One Esports' favor. It just so happened that Teletubbies, they had the hardest push from, I mean, either team that decided to push them, we're going to have to open themselves up to the other team.
Yeah,
and so they just hung out. And so, like, the teams that decided to aggress, it ended up biting themselves in the butt. I think if they would have just hung out on the edge and played passive and let the other teams come to them, they would have picked up the kills and then stayed alive. As we saw a lot of those deaths towards the end there, they were from a third party getting shot in the back rather than actually losing the gunfight in front of you.
Then that was definitely the story there at the end of the game as well. And I think that would have been a very, very different game if Player One Esports, using the high ground, had used a lot of smoke grenades as well when the zone began pushing them in for those 2 minutes. Like, I don't know how many smokes they had, but if they had enough, then it probably would have been better to just, smoke one team out, focus on the other Bonzo team coming in from the left side, because Bonzo coming out the hill had no cover. They had like almost nothing. They actually ran around and only used like the fight as a distraction. If they got spotted there, they're like dead the entire time, as well as the ridgeline that was held by the Teletubbies in that end game. Like, that was a really good ridgeline that they were holding, but it wasn't going to be in forever. Probably for like the first minute, and at that point, you're on equal footing with them. So just pop smokes, wait for the ridge to be out, see if you can take down Bonzo team while they're moving, and then it's an even fight. Very easy to say that in retrospective. Very easy.
Oh, completely different. Yeah.
That was like a really hard game as well. It looked like, from my perspective, I was looking over there like, I don't know what these guys should be doing at the moment, because if you move at all, then you got Bonzo team to your north, you got all these solos below you. Like, it felt like you couldn't move at all with someone shooting you in the back of the head.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say it here from the analyst desk where we see everything third party and we know exactly where every enemy is, and it's like, oh, well, you should have done this. It's like, well, in the moment, you got to realize they don't have this information that we have, and they're having to worry about shooting teams. So here's some more information. We have Teletubbies, unsurprisingly, in first place. Yeah, Panda Team 11.
See that?
They killed it. So they went out in 9th place. This is the new scoring system, everyone. This is so you can see it firsthand. They went out in 9th place, but they had 11 kills. So from a 9th to a 3rd, just because you go and frag out. And that's exactly what teams can do with the new point system, which is, it's amazing, honestly. You have Bonzo team. They went out in 3rd place, which, it's hard. That's damn hard to make it into 3rd place. You're literally beating out 75% of your, over like 80% of your enemies, and they only got 5 kills from it. And it also kind of goes worth noting. I wanted team. It was Rarity. They had the invisible compounds. It's the two double-story houses right next to each other.
In the middle of nowhere.
And they held it for a long time. And in the old system, them getting circle favored over and over and over, it's like, yes, let's go. And then it was like phase 6 that they had to move out of that. Yeah. And there was a team in front of them that shot them in the back. And I think it was Teletubbies, actually.
Yeah.
And that's just unfortunate, but it's like on the old point system, I think they went out in like 10th or something like that. That's still like 80 points to their name. And
I think a different lobby as well, like a different lobby with this point system, I think they would have been okay. Because at that stage of the game, in fact, like every single stage of the game until we got to the like end game, there was a lot more people alive than there should have been, like almost every single time. So if Rarity wasn't as contested coming from the edge, I think that would have been a much better strategy for them to just like sort of lay back. Like in last week's lobby, their strategy would have been fine. They would have been okay to just walk on the edge, take one fight maybe on their terms, and just been okay. But I don't know the exact circumstances in which they died. I do know that Teletubbies just like rocked their world, but I don't know to like what extent exactly. But I feel like a different lobby would have had less of a contest making their way into the zone. And Teletubbies as well, kind of playing like a like I said, like a conservative, like a more old-fashioned style and making it work.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because like Teletubbies had sat inside the yellows for a good chunk of the game, and then they had to move up a little further north. I'm not entirely where they started looting. Not sure where they started looting, but I mean they didn't have to rotate far. But it's just kind of interesting to note that like with the new meta, the teams that have to rotate further and have to go through more fights, they have a better chance of coming out the end with a lot of points. I know we didn't necessarily see it this game, but I've noticed like if a team that gets center compound from phase 1 and they never have to leave that compound, if they don't get crashed and their compound's not necessarily the best for third-partying fights, they're looking at a game that maybe 4 or 5 kills. You're not going to get a 16-kill game if you're favored circled the entire game.
And
it's
like,
only when you have to start moving
point?
and pushing through other teams that you're going to build up points.
What do you do at that point? Because if phase 6 pops, and chances are, I don't care how central your circle, your compound is in circle 1, circle 2, phase 6, anything can happen. The zone can be anywhere, and if you don't have any action going on by phase 6, and you're forced out,
it's almost like you want to just start looking for fights to get up those points that you missed out on. Because I think by the time Rarity had to move, Teletubbies, they were already on like their 8th kill or like 7th kill or something like that.
They were rocking the ruins.
Yeah.
They took out Team Ready from that center compound. They're using the high ground to take out Zwitap, Almost, so many players.
Like they were doing really well from their position, and so I think if you're not getting your kill points by your 6th phase, then you're still going to want to try to make it into the top 5 so you can see placement points. But realistically, like wiping one squad is so much more important than trying to make a top 5 finish.
I wonder if I wish I had like the 2D replay to see exactly how it went down, but I feel like Rarity and Teletubbies were in like almost symmetrical positions.
Yeah, I mean,
similar side of the zone, similar strength of compound.
I think Rarity didn't have as good as once they had to leave. They Teletubbies had like hard cover. They had 2 off to the south, 2 on the elbow. And
I'm talking before that. I'm talking when they were in the yellows. Rarity was in their 2 stack in the invisible compound, like you were saying, and I think there's a significant period of time where those 2 teams were like in the exact same scenario.
Similar,
but we're looking at the end game, and it's like, all right, they could not be further apart. I think that Rarity walked away with like a couple of points, maybe 1. I think they got in 8th place with 0 kills. I think, and Teletubbies at 1st place with 16, and that was because Teletubbies, I think at some point in time saw their yellows, and this is the part I wish I knew. I don't know if they were forced out of the yellows or if they saw the zone and they were just like, let's just go and take the center.
I think that was the case. They did fight for yellows. I'm pretty sure
they took down 2 players from Team Ready.
Yeah.
During the game crash.
It was I can't remember what team it was. They ended up crashing them at the yellows, or they tried taking the hills to the south.
Winzy, I think it was the 2-man from Winzy.
Yep. And they had just gotten out of a fight from the south, and so like they were already kind of struggling. I saw them get tagged a couple times. They got naded a couple times, and so they were already kind of hurting for their gear. And then having to push into Teletubbies at the yellows. I don't think anyone forced them out of the yellows. I just think the spot became just not as viable as the position, 50 yards in front of you.
Less viable, but also you sit on the edge. You're like, okay, I don't want to get shot in the back, so I'll play on the edge. You hear a big fight break out to your south between Winzy and Panda Team, and you see guys coming down from it. You kill them. It's like, all right, there's no one to our south anymore. Like we killed them, so like there's no like. From that perspective, it's like, okay, if our backs are clear,
the points are dried up over there. Let's go over here.
The points are dried up, but also you're not going to get shot in the back. Like the points are dried up, the threats are dried up, so we can actually do something. And once again, going back to your previous point, Rarity had like 0 sight lines. They had no idea what was going on anywhere in that game. And the yellows, they're relatively central. Like, you have a good amount of intel on the far south side. The sight line's very, very, very long. So you know what's going on to your east, you know what's going on to your west, you kind of know what's going on to your south, and you can listen to what's going on to the north, but honestly, the ruins are just like a big cluster, so like whatever's going on.
It really is.
Like, unless, like, even if you're in there, you have no idea what's going on. So like that doesn't even matter anyway, unless someone's pushing on you, which didn't end up happening. The compound from Teletubbies did allow them more intel than Rarity, which probably is why they felt better about moving around a lot more.
That's the biggest difference, in my opinion, between those two compounds.
But I feel like Rarity
Teletubbies
could
had
have
a
played
lot.
it differently. I think they could have even pushed on a Teletubbies at some point.
Yeah, they could have pushed over in third party. Maybe whenever they heard Teletubbies and Wins trying to duke it out. At one point, Teletubbies were doing a 2-2 split, and if Rarity had known that, which, I mean, we're sitting here as observers, and it's like, oh, you could have taken advantage of that. But, you know, maybe if Rarity had seen, if they had been scouting it the entire time and seen 2 members push out from yellows, and then they're like, oh, well, we heard 4 shots there earlier. There could be 2 left, or we can move up behind them. Either way, I think they need to be a little bit more of information warriors, because whenever you lock yourself down into the 2 stories there, you kind of have line of sight around like 100 meters in front of you all directions, but after that, like
that's not much.
It's really not. No, not at all. And the foliage starts to push up, and so it's a good compound to hold, but it's not a good compound to scout from. And so maybe you do want to send one person out to try to get information.
That's what I was saying before we talk about game 2 and start in this game. Is that possible when you're holding that compound, the invisible compound? Is it even possible to send someone out? Because it's like you're looking around, like only 100 meters visibility in any direction. Like
it's risky.
There's a hill above you. There's like a big old ridge line that people can sneak around below you. It almost feels like a bad place to be in this new system, in this new meta.
Yeah, in the new meta, that's probably not a compound that I would look to take too early. It's okay for camping out rotations, but even then, people have played enough that they know that building's there.
Yeah,
they know how to drive around that building.
When I'm playing public matches, I don't drive past that building.
Yeah, exactly. Like people avoid it in comp even more so, and so I don't necessarily think it's the best compound to take in this meta unless the circle ends on you. If the circle ends on you, my gosh, that's one of the best compounds just because there's a couple trees that people could play going up to you, but for the most part, it's very hard to get to unless you crash it with a vehicle.
All right. Well, a very interesting situation there between Rarity and Teletubbies for game 1. We'll be looking to see if Rarity can bring it back here for the next couple of games. I'm certain that is your horse in this race, as you stated previously. I'm still looking at Panda Team. The Panda Team had a really, really good day. In that game, they got 11 kills, 9th place, and still sitting there with a good chunk of points here going into game 2. We'll be seeing this playing path, very, very nice. I feel like it's been I say this a lot, I think, but I think it's been like a really long time since we've had a truly bad playing path at the SSL.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the worst we've seen in a while, and this is not bad. This is really not that bad of a plane. Overall, it opens up pretty much everything on the map. Again, if you want to travel over to Los or Proto, that's probably not the best idea. Los is a lot more of an option than Porto, but other than that, like everything's open on the map.
Including Picado. No one's in Picado. Yeah. 2 people are in Power Grid. 2 teams are in Power Grid, but no one's in Picado. What is going on here? Okay, let's say PLAYERUNKNOWN'S Esports able to claim Power Grid for themselves while Mimic and the rest of the Teletubbies, which is, by the way, our first place team, was unable to find pretty much anything. And meanwhile, over here, Polar Ace in a 1v1 hot drop situation versus Panda Team Nubacabra here on his own, finding himself 2 minis. He needs an AR. He can't make these minis work. He has to kill someone very, very quickly. He does have a Vector as well, but Vector attachments, kind of uncommon. Vector ammo, kind of uncommon. So hopefully he can find some auto rifle to supplement this as well. Otherwise, I think that's our show is going to be on his back with the Scar soon. That's just a decent weapon overall.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see who gets vests and helmets. I saw that Nubacabra did find a helmet, and Arsho does not have one, so this could be bad. Arsho has got no sights on his gun as well, and the iron sight scar is not pretty. Notoriously bad.
Here we go. Oh, but he sees Nubacabra and takes a spray, but Nubacabra running out in the open. I think he didn't quite realize where he was getting shot from and was sort of just in surprise, sort of run to avoid the shots. Yeah, panicked. Arsho taking him down there, and that's a good spot to be for Zweitab. It was a bit of a weird hot drop for Polar Ace to do, but that Hase to split, I love it. So many cars, so much loot, especially on these settings. Zweitab are going to be really happy going in here, besides the fact that they're probably in the most populated area in the entire zone right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's a great place to camp rotations, too, as we see it right here. Marsalek driving right by Hockey. I don't think Hockey was looted up enough to take any shots. But Ronan, on the other hand, is going to get some shots out onto Marsalek. Yeah, and I mean, it didn't see what vehicle Marsalek was driving, but it looks like he's going fast enough to where it's not the easy. Yeah, okay, 2-seater. I was about to say, it looked like he was going
good luck there.
Look how many rotation campers there are right now. Marsalek had to drive through 4 different individuals to make it.
Hold on, let's look at the WAD for a sec. What is he doing exactly? Is he on his way to loot water treatment?
It looks like.
Okay,
yeah.
so it wasn't.
He started in the compound to his southwest, and
God,
then didn't
that's
have a
inefficient
vehicle.
as hell.
It is very, very inefficient. I'm surprised he didn't find a vehicle. This road has quite a few different spawns, and I mean, it's possible that none of them spawned, but I think if he had maybe scouted out a little bit further whenever he was in the air, I think he probably could have found one.
A barrel suppressor angled grip. What an eclectic weapon. You better be dropping that barrel. Oh my God, he prefers the barrel over the AK. What a madman.
I'm with him. I'm with him.
What?
It's better close range. That's all I use it for anyways, and so it's...
I mean, if I have a DMR, sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. He does have the K9. That's a good point. The K9, but even then, the AK is awful at mid-range too, so it's not like the barrel's much worse than mid-range. But either way, I like the barrel. It's grown on me. I pick it up over the AK now.
That is a dangerous opinion to have right there. I think that not many people share it.
Don't crucify me.
I'll see. Maybe we'll make some nails later, but we'll see. Okay, looking over here, though, we have a couple of teams that have made their way into the zone, being able to sneak past YTAP, as well as the pseudo rotation camp from Panda Team off to the northeast side of the zone. But either way, it's going to be really, really hard to find your way in if you're on the far east of the northeast side, because on all along the eastern edge of the zone, there's people everywhere. As well, there are still teams that are very, very split. You know, a lot of people are saying, okay, scavenging is the way to go, like, you know, crap looting, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of people that are still split from their teams because of that.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see Iroh looting all the way over here at this compound with all of his team in El Azahar. El Azahar definitely has enough, especially with this loot settings, to host 4 people. And so running that extra risk, because I mean, Iroh literally had Ronin and ammo 100, 200 meters away from him. Yeah. And he's kind of lucky they didn't check the compound.
He's just rolling into a new compound.
Yeah, they might have been lucky they didn't check the compound. Iroh's an extremely good player, but either way, like, that's just an unnecessary risk to run early, in my opinion. Especially if you have a city like El Azahar.
Yeah, I wonder if it was for vehicles, or
I could see that being the case,
scout for rotation. Like if they start getting shot, then Iroh can come from behind. Like there's a couple of reasons I can think of for doing that, but I agree it is very, very strange to do that right now. El Azahar usually enough cars and loot for any team, especially Team Ready, which I think kind of tends to loot a little bit late anyway. Looking over here. Kanye 2020 able to claim a relatively centralized combat. They had a very, very bad early game previously. So the fact they're able to find this combat is very, very good news to them. They will be playing with Lemon Drops as well this week, who is definitely an all-or-nothing kind of player from what I've seen. Like, he brought one team in, made huge waves, and then you never kind of saw him again. So we'll be seeing if he makes something happen with Kanye 2020 this week.
I like the compound they have a lot. It's good for camping rotations, as well as being able to scout out some of the nearby areas that they might have to rotate to next.
Oh, this is really bad for Ibis. He's pretty much dead. Yeah, he's already dead. So our first place team losing one player early on, and this is going to impact them hugely. We talked about this a ton the last week, but we were trying to get used to the new settings. Losing players early on, going down to 3 players, is a lot more impactful in these settings than it was in previous comp settings. So losing a player like that, actually losing a second one as X-Spark, once again, X-Spark, who's just off on his own, just snagging random kills left and right, is able to get another down, and no one is near him. Kleinman and Mimic are about 200 meters away, respectively. He's still camping this with an SLR 8X, very, very dangerous weapon to use at this range. If Teletubbies go to 2, they're essentially out of this game, man.
I think they're going to be able to get this res, especially if his teammate has a smoke, because that's all it's going to take is a smoke there, and he's going to be able to go out there and get the res.
Going for it.
No one's close enough for the grenades, so if he does try to run out there, he might get sniped, but if he gets the smoke down, he's good. Thanks Delicious going down, Muff Butter getting the kill onto him. I wonder if that was
you just got
rotation.
That right away. It was spelled backwards. You were just right there. But yeah, soon TM, our awesome admin team, is able to make a little bit of magic happen. It looks like Muff Butter was holding this compound on his own. He was able to take one out, but not able to make the magic happen, finish it for the 2v1. The rest of their team will be coming in from the south side, from the Val Del Mar area. A bit unfortunate that our awesome friends were unable to actually hold that. That would have been a really, really good stepping stone them going on later in this game, but it's risk you take whenever you go for a 1x split.
Marsalek and Bonzo, Raj and Marsalek here are about to get drove up on. I don't know if this team is actually, here it comes, right down the road. They have to drive right by him or take the hill up above it. Okay. As I say, it's not the easiest hill to drive up. Marsalek will still be able to get some shots, potentially.
I think that they already lost a player to that compound. I'm pretty sure that's what they were looting right there. If we actually want to look at the POV of Mutant Gaming to our south real quick.
Yeah, they did. You can see the dead body right there.
Yeah, they were looting someone.
Okay.
Yep, Ladas, he's dead. They're avoiding this, and they're actually potentially even trying to get revenge for this. But Ronan, off on his own from Polar Race, their southeast, is going to be potentially shooting in the back if they go too hard on this push.
They spotted Ronan out.
Makes this entire situation just a lot more awkward. Like Mutant, they want revenge, but this is not the time or place, I feel.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, honestly, especially with Loganberry coming up there as well, if they don't get out of here soon, they're putting themselves between two different teams that, honestly, could easily take them out.
Yeah. We'll be seeing how Polar Race play this. Actually, this is more than just Loganberry. This is the rest of Polar Race, I believe. Nubu Capricorn early already, as we saw in the beginning of the games. They're holding strong on the top of this hill.
31 bullets, though, to Ronan's name.
Oof, not a good early looting phase. Yeah. Not a good early phase in general for Polar Race. Looking over here, Panda Team are looking like they're trying to take a fight against YTAP. Magisters playing very, very sneakily here on the side while his team plays the hill above him. As YTAP, meanwhile, is going to be moving in on the low ground. Essentially, Panda Team cannot go down this.
Explosion. Nice shot. Hockey going down. His teammates are all down at the bottom of the ridge, too. If they don't have a vehicle, that's going to be a hard push to go up and get the res.
He hits him again.
And
my God.
Hockey, you're done for this game, unfortunately. The gray shots coming out from Xvolution. His three teammates are down at the bottom of the ridge, though, currently engaged with the rest of the members from Panda Team, or rather just Magister and DWAD.
Yeah, it's really nice that DeWatt was able to get down here during that. I think that knock from Xvolution puts YTAP kind of like, what do we do? What do we do? We're not holding, and that actually made them not hold the west, not hold that empty hillside, allowing DeWatt to rush down to Magister's aid. They're not trying to find some cheeky frags, some cheeky explosives, some bait that they can use to hold off this push a little bit more to allow Panda Team some more time to get in position. But as I said, a Devil landing a great headshot of his own, and is on the top of the hill, so it's going to be pretty hard for Panda Team to actually recover from that. And actually looking at that, Magisters and DeWatt saying, all right, I got you, but we shouldn't be here anymore. Like, I have a really good route, just follow me up here.
Our show and Double are doing the exact same thing. They're just like, you know, we got the knock, let's run away now.
Yeah,
I got a good route, just follow me.
Yeah. Although Double, I think they might have noticed that no one's in this company anymore, and Double actually going on his own flank. I would have preferred if everyone from YTAP went on that south side, because this company is no longer in. So looking over here, Panda Team trying to get some shots onto this off-road. Oh my God! They didn't even get out, it just blew up. Ammo and Loganberry detonating in a fury blaze here. Great pickup there from Panda Team. They're looking like they're going to have another high kill game, and honestly, I love the way that Panda Team has been playing today.
Yeah, and Panda Team's going back at it as soon as they blew that vehicle up there. Like, you know what? Let's get some more kills there. Double going up on the flank though. Magister, he does not know he's here. I don't know if he hears him either. These shots ringing out, kind of distracting Panda Team at the moment.
And look at this, Reggie and Arsho are actually peeking right now, putting a lot of shots down. But Magisters, did he hear something? Crouch walking is not 100% quiet. And proning, that's the loudest noise you can make in the game. Hopefully no one heard that. He's waiting for people to go over the ridge, but look at this. What else is going on? His teammates are taking a battering. Arsho at literally 1 HP. Magisters coming down, Double takes the shot. That's some bad news. He didn't get the down. He tries to push up, but Xvolution is hard peeking that. Is able to take him down, one of their star fraggers, but it's too much, too late. And Arsho and Co. unable to be there at that point in time. They need to be there right away, ready to push. And look at this. Reggie is actually not even in the comp. He's still in the comp. He hasn't even left yet. So this plan from his YTAP, it was a good play from Double, but literally zero follow-up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate. Double left Xvolution with literally 1 shot of health, or whoever he first shot. Either way, had he gotten that initial knock, that would have been a completely different game, because that would have put the other team on their heels rather than aggression, and he could have gotten the second knock and allowed his two teammates to push up.
He's been able to take some shots, Arsho is. If you look at the map, he's actually able to take 2 down as they make their way to the end of the zone. Smokes will be coming out soon, I assume, but not before Arsho flushes 1 out. He's trying to find a second, gets a lot of damage on him as well. Hasn't actually received any fire. The only damage he's been taking is just the blue. Is finally getting a shot in the back as he retreats back over the ridge. 7 first aid kits on Reggie Beardo, so he was ready to blue tank. The call was ready to blue tank, and he actually was looted enough to allow him to sit here for pretty much as long as he wanted here. A lot of the smoke.
1 grenade here.
He does have quite a few as well. 2 Molotovs and 1 frag. Will he be able to get this done? No. He's going for the much more conservative play. He didn't feel good with that push. Maybe
he's buying time for Reggie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buying time, but also waiting for him to get in position here.
I like it. That was a good call, Arsha. I think maybe if he had pushed up and gotten one nade off, that would have been a good idea. You might have stopped the heal. You might have gotten meds from the enemies. Like, either way, it would have bought him a little more time. Getting the painkiller, though, it's a conservative play. It's safe, and I think overall it's not a bad call.
Yeah, but the zone's coming in again, man. And, you know, Panda Team is not going to go away. Like, you're following the exact same rotation with the zone settings as they are. They're just going to keep trying to shoot him in the back, but Am going down pretty low. But unable to find that knock once again. Panda Team probably running on literally zero armor. They've been taking such a battering here. Execution almost turns on Reggie. Beardo Dawad going back to support for the res. Am going in and keep running, but they realize that with the zone being as far and as powerful as it is, they can't afford to go back for him. A good game so far for Panda Team. They've been the onus of a great deal of action so far, but zone is about a kilometer away. They can't wait for Expo.
Yeah, our show went down there somehow as well. I wonder if it was. Ooh, it couldn't have been. Yeah, he had meds going. Mon going down as well. He's going to be able to get rezzed from Tanaka. That's the last two members. Oh, nade coming out from Iroh. Is this going to be a good nade?
Oh,
it needs to be a good nade to save Memo.
It was cooked pretty good. But not good enough. A little too far. If that was cooking in a second more, it would have been hugely destructive. Memo trying to crawl away. Iroh get a duel with Tanaka. This is team almost last stand. They got to make a push, and they got to make it now. Mine took an uncooked frag, though. It's not going to do nearly enough. Iroh took his own, and that's going to be what really sticks. Taking down Tanaka. Mime taking this time to flush Memo. In fact, even if he goes down, I'm saying I'm getting 1 point from this at least. And now Iroh, he has the timing locked in. He knows exactly how much to cook these frags. Taking his Tanaka down a little bit more, and oh my god, a third frag. If that was a one lucky bounce, could result in his death. Mine though, he has not given up on Tanaka yet. Panda Team actually getting eliminated here by Zwitap. Very interesting to see that Mime go. Now, going for the res, Tanaka has seconds alive, and oh my god, Mime actually does it, keeping team almost up with 2 players.
And Iroh's going to back off.
Oh, that's because he was already on the east side.
Smart. Oh, he's separated from his team too. Beautiful Death's engaging with our, well, he's in the compound of Lister. Iroh took shots here.
Iroh needs to die there every time. That was that was rough there from Seidel, missing all those mini 14 shots, firing way too quickly. He's going to be retreating back over here to a Beautiful Death. But as he goes over here, he rounds the corner, trying to take on Lister, but is unable to steal the kill here from Rarity. Exodus now down to 3 players, holding this high ground. A church compound, and now with Beautiful Death in here, Iroh still might be able to get a little bit further into this game yet.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good play from Iroh. I think he should have been dead there.
Oh my god, what is going on in this circle?
Oh, wow. 5 different teams inside Pozo. A couple off to the east, a couple central, and a couple north, but the 5 teams in Pozo. The second that circle shifts off that city, it's going to be absolutely pure chaos.
Spray down from Death across the compound, able to take down 1 player. Rarity and almost not making their way nearly as quickly in as Ready was. Looks like, however, Exodus will be able to get that res on a secret firefighter going for that one. Meanwhile, the boys in Pose are putting on a lot of pressure from the south edge of the zone, almost on the receiving side of that, specifically Winzy, trying to take down our Billy Goats on the far north side of the zone. Oh my god, Tanaka literally one shot. He's making his way into the cover and barely able to get behind the rocky ridge line back into cover. Meanwhile, Kleinman from the Teletubbies going down here. Once again, our #1 team, they're able to get 3 up so far, somehow staying alive in the very congested opposite area. But oh, look at this. They got the knock and Story the Corey making a frag. Oh, if that was tossed well, it will get some damage. But oh my god, he couldn't quite make it into the window through the doorway. He couldn't actually see the door from his angle, so a decent frag overall. Climbing, backing off into the open roof area to go for a heal. Namek holding the 2nd floor of this building while Snip prevents any flanks coming out from the outside of the building. Climbing hard holding this angle. He's just prone here. What a weird play, and because it's so weird, it might actually work out for him.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. No one would, I mean, they...
Oh. No one does... What? Corey, you're nuts. I think he tapped him in the head, which is why he was able to make that play happen. Mamek here saying, all right, I'm all alone. Snip is nowhere near me, man, and he shouldn't be either. Snip's got to get out of here, because this is not an easy push to hold here from Winzy. Still, though, a cheeky frag might be able to help his odds, knocking it off the barrier. Might be able to take it up, but they're actually already inside the building. It would have needed to go off the barrier, through the window. It would have been the frag of the century, but is able to make it work. Crawling back down, though, back behind the building as the push comes in. Manic with a sneaky play, crawling outside. His teammate can now cover him while he's out here. They run out here, but getting shot from the side. Snip worth his weight in gold right now, but a flying from story of Corey. Winsy playing so fast, forces Teletubbies Snip to run back to the west. The fight has been lost. He needs to make sure that his name is not added to the obituary today.
Now I wonder if Teletubbies is going to push Snip, because Snip's shot some there. I mean, he put some bullets towards him. So Teletubbies, they're aware of Snip's presence. Whether or not they know it's the final member of the team they just took out, that's another question.
Exactly. Looking over here, Kanye 2020. Oh, only a body shot there onto Chroma. Very, very hard to hit your head when it's wobbling around that much, but another follow frag could be all he needs. Makes a risky play, walking out of cover for a sec, chucks a frag in that window, but according to the kill feed, no kills found from that particular explosive. Player One Esports playing very passive. It looks like that Sizzy is making the hero's sacrifice over holding the corner while his teammate proceeds further west outward. And with the new zone popping, El Pozo no longer in, besides exactly soon TM. Oh my, wait, hold on. I actually just realized the pun from Awesome's team name. Soon TM. Because they said they'd be having events going on soon. Oh my god, I just got that. That's awesome, dude. Oh my god.
They got zone, but they still have the work cut out for them.
Oh boy. And actually there's only one player up there. He's still making some magic happen, taking Mime down, but only Spark able to net that kill. Meanwhile, Player One Esports trying to wrap around this compound, and that is not going to work at all. Two players going down there from Kanye as Ripper and Chroma take two players down. One down now. Sizzy able to get the res on the turtle. If they can get to that next dump truck, the next tractor, they will be in a better spot, but a Molotov going to make it a little bit harder to move around, although if they were a little bit longer, they'd be a lot more effective. They will be making this run. These are going for some jump peaks, but Chroma and Spen will gun them down like dogs as Kanye 2020 claiming the west side outskirts of El Pozo. Meanwhile, center zone is still popping off as Exodus has now backed off completely from the compound, leaving it to the wolves of Team Ready as well as Rarity on the outskirts. Meanwhile, as well, I actually don't remember what team that is exactly on the southeast side. I think that might be We Suck, We Know. No, that's Super Saiyan coming in as a four-man on the southeast side. They're still taking fire from El Pozo, I believe. Actually, that's from Team Ready to their north. As a Shuku going down, Ryuzen going to try to get a res onto him. That will be easy as the trade did occur. Death going for Iroh and two players watching for here from Saiyan. Well, the res is going out, but no one from Ready able to watch as there's only two players up, one player down, one player res, and that's zero rifles looking outward.
Yeah, I mean, Super Saiyans, they have an easy push into this compound as long as they have one or two smokes. I don't think Team Ready is going to be able to do anything about it. They might take some shots off to the south, but that's where the smokes would come into play. If they can make it to this ridge line, they got an easy entrance into the compound. So, I mean, realistically, it's only Team Ready holding it off to the east. Tanaka, I don't think's peeking at all. I don't think he's making any type of sound. He's just wanting people to forget about him.
Solo Snake. If he gets a kill, he gets a kill. But if he's able to sneak in, then he'll take it either way. Able to hold inside of this compound. Only two solos inside, what appears to be a relatively strong spot. Exodus claiming themselves a great spot here on top of this hill. I actually really like Bonzo team spot as well. If they get close enough to this hill, they can actually sneak under it. Actually, Marslik and Rajku beginning to make that play, claiming a little bit of high ground, but also getting right under the noses of Exodus to their south.
Yeah. The only problem with Bonzo's team's location is the lack of view. You can't see anything around you. You can't third party. You don't get much information. But it does have easy access to this hilltop, which is exactly what they're taking advantage of now. I do think they need to get Morrow up with them and have a four-man because if they can four-man take Exodus's position, you know, that's another 4 kills to their name.
Or even fight and kill Rarity.
Yeah, or that too. I mean, they could do both. If they get a 4-man, Rarity is a 2-man right over the ridge. There's like nothing there for a hard cover. Maybe a rock to play on, but realistically, like, Rarity's just waiting to be killed.
It's just kind of like a Rarity situation from last game, actually, for Bonzo. Like, they hold one combo the entire game. they don't know exactly what's going on. They don't know where everyone is right now. They're trying to billy goat their way up this rocky cliff face. They do, like you were saying, they know X is up there. They want to try and take him down. Meanwhile, Swetsky is like leaning left and right, like, yep, that is indeed a rock face I'm looking at right now. Detective Swetsky on the case here.
They might hear Raj. I think they're
right. You're absolutely
there.
right.
So Swetsky, they might be prepared. They know they're not too close because those footsteps would have been very faint. But I think Swetsky.
El Pozo teams are now going to be forced to move on in here on the far south side. It looks like Davidus is able to take down by Winzy. This is looking to be their game. Oh my God! Snip was sneaking around from behind. I can't believe what's going on. He took on 3 players. Tries to go for a flush in the 4th, but the zone coming in. He's gonna get all these kills. That's nuts for Teletubbies.
Snip. Bravo, dude. That's how you pick up points as a solo player. You come in third party whenever no one's expecting it, and literally got his team 3 more points there, right?
And they had gotten started it up beautifully too, because it wasn't just like mow him down, hold the trigger. It was use the frag. They don't know where it's coming from. Their ears will be ringing. But I know something to analyze now. As Bonzo team is pushing an X's, they've already gotten 1 down plus secret. Another frag takes Firefighter down to low HP, and now as soon as it began, Bonzo team taking the strongest spot in the zone. We're already able to sneak up the ridgeline, using that as a distraction. But the only thing near them is solos and duos. All the other teams left in the game are in the low ground on the other side of the zone. Bonzo have made a huge play.
Yeah, I mean, this is such, I can't stress enough, such an important position for this circle because they can literally see the entirety of it. I mean, they can sit down in third party and pick up so many different kills. You see Kanye 2020 here just running out in the open. They've got some trees, they got some rocks to cover from, but for the most part,
they're so scattered on that hill.
Yeah, they're so scattered, and that's just one of like the 4 teams that are scattered on that hill.
Yeah. But like all these teams on the low ground, they are so scared of this, like of Radio Tower Hill up here. Dablo and NMS, they're just holding here under this ridgeline. Death, actually no, this is why. Look, this Rajku from Papa Team able to get killed there. But over here on the side, it looks like that Tanaka was found out. Death and I are able to get the trade. That's why you always want to push buildings together when you're a duo like that. One player goes down to a camper, and second one's available for the trade. Look over here, Rocket Beauty though still trying to find these long-range shots. Not quite as strong as the scope as you would want in this scenario, but SLR more than good enough for him. And look at this, even next zone, providing them with the center zone. But even this area that they're holding is so big, they can easily like move about 100, 200 meters west or east and have control of all of it. So the fact that they're in zone in this next one, or even center zone, is not a surprise to me at all.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the circle ending here.
This is a shooting range, dude. Spen though, Kanye 2020 making a play onto the Super Saiyans. They know they're in the shed. They know there's 2 players down. Spen leading the way. He hears a player moving around, spraying in the smoke. Ooh. He actually was able to. No, that was. Oh my God, that was Mars like stealing the kill away from Spen. Meanwhile, a player hiding prone in smoke. He sees a body, sprays it. He steps on the other one. Oh my God, they're all hiding in the smoke. Chroma going down. Black, the snake in the grass, and Ripper wanting nothing to do with it. Chroma able to crawl in against the snake. We see there's still a player in the smoke. He's still there.
Oh,
the smoke will clear. He tried to make a cheeky play happen with the frag. Spen isn't going to be having none of it.
If he threw that nade inside that shack, that would have been 200 IQ.
It would have taken like nutty game to know where the door was though, because he can't see anything.
I would have been impressed. I would have been really impressed. Oh, Team Rarity going down and out in 6th place. You have Bonzo team taking them out, getting themselves 10 kills.
Oh man!
Process, and there's still eight different.
It's a Teletubby strap, man. You just hide out in like an isolated spot, but make sure that spot can allow you to maneuver on foot into the end game. That is what you want to do, and they were able to do so right now with 4 up. The only team right now in Phase 7 with 4 players still alive. The only player with even a comparable number is Kanye 2020, and arguably the worst spot in the zone with 3. And look at this, there's even Team Ready who's looking for their only kills this game. They only have 2 so far. They're trying to make some more magic happen, getting split out here. They realize they can't stay here and are going to be pushing up the hill instead. This could be the thorn in the side that potentially turns into something bigger against Bonzo team. But I think that right now Ready is more so looking for like kills and placement rather than making any specific power play.
Yeah. I think that's a smart play, like, because you definitely need to go for kills, and once there's 12 alive, like every kill you do, that could be a placement point as well. Oh,
that was almost
perfectly
perfect.
cooked. Yeah, just
Like
needed
a
to go a little
millisecond.
further.
Just like a millisecond more on that timer would have been amazing. But
He's got
sees
6
him with
kills
the second
to his
one.
name. Here it goes. That's a perfect.
Oh, no,
my
he got it
God.
way too long that time. DOTA will still be going down. His team is backing him up. Meanwhile, Conti 2020 getting absolutely demolished by Iro in the low ground.
Steal
Bonzo
kills.
team looking to steal some kills, but not going to happen. Dablo from We Know We Suck, or We Suck, We Know, excuse me, will be able to take down Ripper, allowing both of those two teams to get all those kills. So no more going to Bonzo here. Now, though, We Know We Suck on the far west side, barely in zone, crawling in the entire time. Iro from Team Ready, of course, who else? They're actually getting pushed right now by Rajko and Marsalek as I'm saying that. They're going down this hill, they hear him, they hear moving, they know exactly where he is. One peek could end it all, and this is going to happen right now. Marsalek barely able to make that happen. A great hold from Iro, somehow able to get Marsalek down that low, but still no dice here. And as I'm saying that, they're actually literally just dying to the zone here. I'm not sure if that was intentional, and I think it might have. I can understand if it was, but I don't think it actually was.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I mean,
what is going on here?
it's hard to know whether or not that's a full 4-man. Like, Dablo probably doesn't realize that it's a full 4-man up there on top of the hill. So they might be like, hey, we're in 3rd place. We could. Oh, wow. As soon as I say that. Oh. Now they know. Now they know. Bonzo team tearing it up that game. 1st place in a 14-kill finish.
Ooh, baby. Oh, my goodness. What a great showing from Bonzo team. Showing up 2 weeks in a row. This new roster is making some huge waves. Half Bonzo team, half old Panda team. I know Maro used to be on Panda team. I think that both teams are happier where they are now because Panda team, the way they're playing, they just need their breakout game. They've been playing very, very well. They're individually very strong. They have the play style, that fragging potential, so that in the mid game, they're almost always going to have at least 4, 5, 6 kills as long as something doesn't go catastrophically wrong. And in this kind of lobby, I think there's a lot of teams that can't handle that really that well. Yeah. We saw, what was it, Zwitap. Fighting with them for a very long time. It actually was Zwitap that was able to end that on top, but it was literally because they ended up dying to the zone. Yeah. So it's like, if you're a Panda team, what can you really do about that? Like they're literally dying to the zone to kill us. Like how do we fight against that? It's so weird to play against that kind of player.
And it's what was it? Panda team and Zwitop, were they the ones that were fighting earlier?
On the far east side.
Far east side. Okay.
Fields, yeah.
That was a very interesting fight. Panda team needed to just buckle down and fight that.
I think I agree.
Them running up the hill and trying to disengage and be like, yo, we need to make it to circle the new zone. We got to push. It got them killed because literally the other team behind you, they have nowhere else to go. It's not like they're just going to wait for you to run up the hill and let you go. It's like if they can put shots in your back and down one, finish him, and then do it again and again and again and again. It's like after the first death, you kind of have to realize, like, you know what, running up this hill isn't an option. Let's turn around and just gatekeep these guys out. They had the meds to do it. I saw one of them had 4 first aids. And
yeah,
they decided
I
to run.
don't
So
know
it's
what
like,
the meds were logistically. So if they had that many meds, then you're right. I think they should have. But like you're already sitting there, you're just like, these guys are freaking crazy. Like the zones are like 2 kilometers away, and they're just sitting there. Like what are they doing? Like I get why they ended up leaving because they had no idea if this team was just like, you know, garbage was going to get themselves killed. It did kind of end up that way, but I do think that Zwitap, using the approach they did, played it as well as they could have.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they had to push through the team in front of them, and it just so happened that team decided to disengage and turn their back to you, and so they took full advantage of it. I didn't see any vehicles in the surrounding area that they could have easily just backed
they
off
were
and
long gone.
Yeah.
A lot of teams dropping that area.
And so, you know, I don't know. I personally would have called the double down, take that fight, get those points, and then you get their meds too. I don't think that
7
fight,
first aid gets on one of their players.
Now, you know, neither team knows how much meds the other team has, so it's a gamble in that sense. But for the most part, like, I think you got to double down and take that fight.
I think I agree with that. We'll be coming back to half 2 with the scores up. We're going to be taking a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Get some water. I know that I will be doing that real quick here. And we'll be coming back to you in a couple minutes with our EU half of SSL number 43.
kind of leaning peeking for peaks.
Oh, Zin, does he hear it? Does he hear it? Just in time, but he does lose the initial fight, forced back into the building. He is now camping the backside. He takes out one player, but hiding in the bathroom is the easiest fight of his life. And look at that, Brooks from the outside, winning the peak battle versus sociopath Izako Boers, getting teams that are not in. But Protege just doing a marvelous job of preventing Brooklyn. And yeah, if you're at low speed, Alexis Ray holding one side, getting 2 downs, 2 flushes right away, and evasion being down from Ballin, who was holding the shed, waiting for the last moment to pull the trigger, and now Mime somehow allowed to drive away in a UAZ. There's a big old box trying to get him to safety, trying to go to the chopsticks, but no, the vehicle. Take him out on a rotate.
Ooh, Karma spotted out. I do believe this is the final member of Winnie.
Goodness,
Dash trying to connect some SKS shots. I mean, Karma's got nowhere to go here. No vehicle. Got to run through the open. There we go. Down. Oh, it is a down.
What happened before? This happened outside of the mines, and now it's happening again here. Look over here. Littlefoot in a lot of trouble. These cars do not. Oh, God. Is that a frag? Nope, that's a frag. Darth Vapor and Loganberry, as well as Ronan, all working together to take.
Driving right up to Earns.
Okay, PLAYERUNKNOWN'S Esports, they have gotten camped on their rotates so often, and now they're saying, no, not happening today, not happening again. I will be the camper this time. And Protege from Vicious Gaming are one coming in from Walk TV, but they don't even need to flank. They have so many frags. They're just smoking this entire team out with grenades as a Walk TV or Rajku trying to get the res off on Rocky Duty, his last strong teammate. But another frag. Has this team even fired a bullet at Bonzo team yet? As the last frag takes out our second place team. But that's our first place. Weeks, SSL week 3. We're now in week 4, however, going into the EU segment after halftime here. If you're just not tuning in, then welcome. We're at FirstBlood, like bringing you guys some comp PUBG action. I'm a little fuzzy seal, joined as always by Charity.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome back. Hopefully you all got your snacks. I need a drink here. I know you're missing your drink as well, so
I don't have it anyway, man.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, we're about to get into game 3. We're switching over to the EU side of things, which is exciting because today we have pretty much, I think you said it was a 50-50 split. Yeah, 8-8 split between EU and NA teams. So it's going to be interesting to see which teams maybe perform a little better on their home turf.
If memory serves, I think that Teletubby, well, actually, not even memory, their names are EU names. So I know that Teletubbies is an EU team. Bonzo, a team that's been performing well, EU. Panda, EU. Ready, EU. I think that's the scoreboard off my head, although I'm pretty sure that we have that ready for you right now. So, yeah, Bonzo still sitting in first. Actually, now sitting in first place.
Sitting in first
I was a third and a first. Actually, not even. I'm going to ignore that. 19 kills overall. So a good chunk of their points coming from both placement, but as well as kills for them. Teletubbies couldn't quite keep their pressure, couldn't quite keep their consistency up as their previous game got them stuck inside El Pozo. Somehow Snip was able to get 3 kills at the end of that game, so huge props to him for not falling completely behind. But after that, the point total gets a lot steeper. 34-29 and then 16 points in third place. After that, it's anyone's game for third place, but it's going to take a pretty rough set of games for Bonzo and Teletubbies to lose out of this one.
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, I'd say most of the teams can still come back if they have like 26 points is our kill point, our point leader for the day per one game. So let's say we get 26 points on Kanye 2020. They're now at 36 points.
Okay.
That's first place as long as Bonzo team goes out super early without any kills, or without 3.
And it's going to take a couple of games of that, where it's like one team with an explosive win, and then Bonzo and Teletubbies going out.
Twice.
And I'm not sure if there's any, there aren't that many teams that are really capable of those explosive wins. Like, off the top of my head, it's Panda, Team Ready, PLAYERUNKNOWN'S Esports, obviously, and it just happens they're in 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. But besides that, like, maybe Team Almost can make it work, but they were just trying out this new strategy of, like, low commitments, trying to keep their head down and only sneak into like fights and combos, whereas like people are just like, whoa, how'd you even get here? Like, how is this even happening right now? And that style doesn't work in this meta. So they have been shifted on their heads, and they're trying to find a new style that works for them. So I don't think that right now they're really capable of that until they find whatever style it is. And according to how they've been playing last week and this week, individually very strong. The pushes that they've had, the fights they get in when they get in one-on-one fights are very, very good. They just don't really get in that many of them.
Yeah, and my team is not doing too hot, honestly, at the moment. But I'm going to double down, and I'm going to expect Team Rarity the next 2 games to show up.
I thought you were talking about THC for a second. I was like, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, no. not only 1 explosive game, I'm predicting 2 explosive games. And by explosive, I mean 15 kills. I mean 15 points or more. And so, you know, be it a 10-kill third-place game or, you know, a 5-kill first-place game, it's 15 points, 2 games in a row.
Very hopeful. Very hopeful.
I'm an optimistic guy, all right?
Optimism,
and I also am bad at losing, and since I picked Team Rarity off the start of the day.
You're bad at losing? Did I hear that right?
Team Rarity, you guys got to step it up. I can't lose this, okay? I can't.
Oh my God. All right, well, there you go. Since Charity's bad at losing, I think Rarity is going to be winning this one out.
I think I mean, the math makes sense to me, personally.
I've said it before,
I'm terrible at math.
Where's the equation? Where is it?
It's there. It's there.
If Charity,
you got to find the X factor or something like that.
If Charity bad at math, then Rarity equals win.
Win.
Whatever. Okay. That's some code for you right there. Someone code that one into Game 3 here. As we are going into EU, Rarity isn't any team, so they're going to be having a slightly worse time of it.
Yeah,
in fact, if memory serves, I'm pretty sure that like our top 6 was all EU. So NA in general not feeling too hot right now. I don't really care about that too much personally, to be frank. I just want some good games to happen. And quite frankly, the teams that I have been looking at, the teams that have been coming back, that is Panda Team, my boys, are playing very, very good. And with some people that I know that can play even better. So once again, they have a good style going for it. They just need that one good game where the fight that they take, you know, in phase 3 or 4 doesn't just blow up in their face.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about Bonzo showing up strong. Consistency is key because not only did they get the win, but they got a 3rd place, and that
with
3rd
5
place,
kills.
that 3rd place, they have the same amount of kill points as the 2nd place team, but that 3rd place, giving them 5 points, is the only difference separating them because the 2nd place team, Teletubbies, they took an 11th, which is an 8 points.
Yeah.
And so, you know, being consistent. The name of the game is not necessarily placement anymore, but if you could tack on a few placement points plus your kill points, it does make a difference in those final circles. And I mean, we saw it last week too. Like you said, it was like the difference between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, or I guess 2nd and 3rd, 1 point.
Yeah,
it was like 42, 43, 43.
I had to make new tiebreaker rules.
Yeah.
I had to be like, all right, let's figure out who exactly got 3rd place.
Yeah.
By the way, the tiebreaker rules are kills and then average placement. So I felt like that made the most sense
with this meta.
With this meta,
yeah.
I think that it was before that in general. I think that kills have always been going above average placement.
Yeah, I don't know. They could go back and forth. Previously, just because like more points came out of your placement points, and so in my opinion that should be weighted more heavily in the previous system. But now with it being 65% of each game's points being in kills, it makes sense that whoever has the most kills.
Yeah, I had Dash in my DMs saying like I think that it should be kill points.
I would agree.
That makes a lot of sense.
I would agree.
Looked and I was like, oh, so Vicious Gaming gets 3rd place if it's judged by kill points.
Oh, okay. Of course, Dash would message. Yeah, of course, Dash would message that.
Yeah, that's very interesting, Dash. Looking over here though. We're going to be going into Game 3, and this flight plan is definitely the worst one we've had so far.
I'd say so. I mean, it's cutting off pretty much the entire northwest side of the map. George Pool's out of question. Again, unless you want to get a vehicle and drive for this, but the team we saw go to Severny, I don't think we're going to see again. I'm curious as to whether or not we're going to see 2 teams inside Stalber. You usually don't see Stalber hot drops too often. You know, Pachinki
Everyone
is
thinks
school.
that though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Stalber's going to be open. Let's drop there.
Yeah.
3 teams with the same thought process.
No one in Picado, no one in Pachinki. We actually almost saw a fight between Power Grid and at Power Grid between the Teletubbies and PLAYERUNKNOW'S Esports, where both teams were just like, that's not happening. I'm not fighting for freaking Power Grid.
Are these the same 2 teams again? Neither of them are backing off.
Oh,
it is not the same 2 teams. I don't think.
It's Bonzo and Rarity, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Okay, but it looks like, so Bonzo's going for Kameshki.
But
Rarity,
there's only 2 members of Rarity.
Rarity is doing
the other 2 are going more central. This is interesting.
Is this intentional? I think this is intentional.
I mean, if you're middle of the pack leaderboards, maybe you want to get those extra kills off the start to kind of supplement the rest of your gameplay. It would make sense, but also splitting 2-2, it's kind of high risk, high reward, because if you lose 2 members off the start, then that really, really ruins your chances of dropping a 15-point game. So come on, Team Rarity. Don't let me down.
They hear you, and they want to make sure that they make their father proud. So we say that they can do that. But there's a lot of people here. Like, let's look at Rozak real quick, because I can actually see the Lego compound right now. There's so many people dropping right here in this Rozak area. A couple more people in the farm room. Maybe seeing that pop up soon, but already people scrambling for vehicles right now. Oh no, Mime! Oh guys!
No.
One vehicle avoided. A second one avoided. Oh my God, Mime! He's somehow been able to stay alive so far. They're backing up, back and forth. Mime, your foot play is nuts. We have Shuku coming with his fist, but Fuji Pio shooting Black out of the car.
Back it up,
Mime
back it up, Mime.
take it. Oh my God, Mime, you're nuts!
Steal the kill, please.
Oh, he wanted it. He almost got it.
If he would have just backed straight up, that would have been the most clutch kill. Fuge coming out and saving him as well. And so it had just been like a slap in the face. But like Mime saying thank you for the save, but I have to take this kill, man.
Dude, we got that like anime style.
Get him, Ronan.
Oh, but here we go. Ronan getting crashed. Actually, potentially getting crashed.
Nice
Oh my God, look at
VSS
that
skin.
frostbite. That scope is so white. But dude, Fuji Pio with the AK there. Like Mime is like scattering. There's like a glint of a scope. There's a shot. The player falls in Pico, and then Fuji's like a close up of his face, like you owe me one. It's like some Japanese.
You're welcome.
some Japanese anime oh my gosh Shindru crap just happened right now, and Fuji Pio is the proctor of it all. Oh my God. That was amazing.
And you know, the guy that got shot, it's just unfortunate for him, because that's quite the roller coaster of emotion. You get the vehicle off the start.
I mean, they're cackling.
You see a kill right in front of you, and you're like, guys, I'm gonna get the run over point. Let's go. And then all of a sudden, boom, headshot, and you're out of the game. It's like, all right.
They had a guy that was ready to punch him the hell out. Like, that's how committed they were to
he was
that.
sprinting at him.
And then look at this as well. Rarity are getting what they wanted. They didn't go for cars, they went for a compound, and now they're getting those early kills that they dropped here for. So already that's strategy working, man.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. It's kind of interesting to see so many teams along this south side. I mean, Milton Farm kind of expected, and then Snake, but you have Fairy Pier, the Yellows, the Quads, and then Snake taken. It's literally every single thing along this road here is taken. So if any team does want to rotate in, like let's say Doblo and friends want to rotate in, they have to drive through so many different teams to make this rotation possible.
That's going to be really, really hard for them, especially considering how many strong camping, rotation camp positions there are on that side of the map. It's going to be really, really hard here. But oh, look at this Panda team trying to go for a $7 compound early on. Shuku and Super Saiyans are having none of it, though. They're bloodthirsty after losing someone early. They're trying to take whatever easy fight they can. But a quick and beautiful route from Amzi is able to get him some quick scouting, seeing it's occupied and backing off. Although as I say that, Shuku is immediately driving off and maybe even trying to intercept Amzi, as they will be actually finding themselves a new vehicle. That is Shuku and Ryozen.
Oh, they're going right to Mamek.
Trying to do something new. This is interesting. They're driving around so much for a two-man.
Mamek just got to this compound too, so all these doors are likely closed. Mamek shooting out at Ryzen. Shuku gonna reroute, try to take a safer position here. Ryzen's just going to go north. They need to get a little more loot. You can see in their meds they're okay. But I noticed that they had 30 rounds on his M16 iron sight. He's going to drive right into this. This is not good.
What is going on? Super Saiyan looking for anything and finding, well, less than nothing. They died for that. So now Ryozen and Lazy J off in the middle of nowhere. I think that we still saw Lazy J to the northwest, like a little bit outside Severny, if I'm not mistaken. So going to be very, very difficult for them going further into this game. Actually, no, he's in Rozak, excuse me. Still going to be a very, very hard game for the Super Saiyans going in.
Maybe they thought the compound would be open because it's still relatively early in this game. You know,
That's a really common
5 minutes in. It is, yeah. I'm trying to play devil's advocate and think maybe they thought it was clear because he rolled up like that it's just not going to be taken at all.
WinZ are thinking it's clear too and are finding a lot of shots heading their way because of the UAZ with 3 players inside of it. Sociopath trying to lead his team out of this one. Mamek They're so lucky that Mimic's not finding shots. And actually, they realize there's only one player shooting us from here. Let's make some magic happen. But everyone else from this team is on point. Kleinman ready for a flank. Snip driving in, guns blazing. Winzy is gonna, they need to push this right now. If they don't go and push Mimic, they're gonna get shot in their back and flanked to hell and back.
Yeah, I mean, Snip's right off to the north, and Sociopath is on the outside of this wall. His entire body's just open and begging to be shot. They need to get inside this building ASAP and then kill Mimic and then turn the tides onto Snip.
Zin and Sixel are holding them off. Two players are able to go for a trade. Sociopath and Ko are going in. They need to make this happen right now. Sociopath is behind. Corey leading the way, not getting any damage. The Molotov holding them off. That's so smart from Mimic, because now Story and Sociopath are doing literally nothing while Zin is holding off the other half of the Telethon. Sociopath, oh my god, actually finding Mimic out of the building, going for a jump shot. Very stylish kill, but now he needs to go help Zin back him up because he's surrounded on two sides. Klein to his east, Snip to his north. Story of Corey is going around to try and find this player. Might be able to find him soon, but no, it will be Snip who is able to find that down, and Zin not able to see him around this corner. Sees him now running in the open. AK trying to make these caps work. It's a little bit longer range than he's comfortable auto spraying, and so not able to find that down. Kleinman going for a frag. Zin not able to find him as well, but will be able to take a couple of shots at him. 2v2 now coming out here. Winzy. This felt a lot better at the beginning of this fight than it did at the end.
Yeah, when they first crashed, they were feeling pretty confident with it. I don't think that they realized that Snip and Klein were so close and ready to back their teammate up. Another one going down to Klein and leaving just Sociopath up. He needs to make something work, and he's got to do something quick. Kleinman's trying to get the nade out, but it looks like he only has smokes available.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate as well. Actually, real quick over here, Sociopath trying to see his player.
He
actually didn't see him. He can definitely hear him on the wall now, backing off, going for the res, definitely telegraphing exactly what he's doing. Actually forced to go back into the attic. One of the worst places you can be. Zin crawling outside for information, actually behind the door, actually for some good cover. Kleinman. He's coming in soon. He saw Sociopath's peek over here, shooting his elbow and kneecaps out. Sociopath now at 1/3 HP, going for a push. Kleinman is and doesn't even aim in, goes and gets the kill. Actually, it was Snip that was able to find his little head there. That push from Winzy, I liked it, but the execution just wasn't there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and we do see the first team going down and out 8 minutes into the game. That's just more extra points onto the second place team now, and that's 4 kills. That's
4 kills.
They're now down 1 point from the first place team, and it's only 8 minutes into the third game. And
good place
I mean,
to
wipe an entire squad 8 minutes in, you're already guaranteed yourself a 5th place. Oh no!
Oh, he's like hiding in a little raft that sharks circle him in the middle of the ocean. This is so scary for Ryozen, especially considering he has no teammates left alive. He's Lazy J, nowhere to be found, and once again, Super Saiyans are not. There's some situation is like they're almost going to be okay, but then they get shot in the back while they're trying to run off, and it will be Ryozen getting finished off. Rarity find themselves a nice compound as Lazy J rotating in on the northwest side is the last hope for the Super Saiyans in this game.
It looks like he's driving right towards the compound as well. It is occupied. He's going to be able to barely avoid it without taking any shots, surprisingly.
Good routing.
He does have a 2-seater, so I guess it makes a little more sense. Is he going to go to the compound his teammate just died and try to get some revenge?
Nah, he's just in the
Come
valley
on,
right
Lazy
here.
J. Come on. I want to see it. No, he is taking. This is good routing. He's avoiding some key compounds that, I mean, one he definitely knows is taken up to the north, but then the forest a little bit to the south where our show is. That's a very popular spot. He's driving. Ooh,
okay,
now
so
it's getting a little sketchy.
Yeah, he sees that. Oh, the timing is really on point, so he kind of knows that because that car just went by this area. This is the only point in time that warehouse is not going to be watching him. So good timing for Lazy J to be breaking into the shelter. And if you're a solo player, this is the place to be, man. And anywhere here in the lumberyard, any of those spots are good for a solo player. Look over here, Polar Ace going out for a scout will immediately get punished for by Zwitap, who are going for a 4-man rotation camping play style here. Taking on another player from Polar Ace as more players, Mutant, Almost, Far South, PLAYERUNKNOWN'S esports trying to rotate in. A couple of them given the space their respective deserves. Mutant Gaming somehow driving through the forest and not getting detonated here, not getting shot upon. Polar Ace now forced to play back and play on rotation camps as they are not able to get any information out to anything to their east with Nubacabra going down.
Yeah, I mean, it's an unfortunate stop here for Team Almost. They're right on the outside of Spark and friends. I wonder if they know this when they drove by them and they're maybe trying to reposition.
Right next to each other.
Okay.
I think that they know it, but Mime leading the way on this untied.
But
oh my God, he's looking to his right. Doesn't see the player to his left. Great turn for him, but no one there to help him out against the player that downed him. Whoa, Tanaka with some really good M16 shots. Him and Yuso able to take Spark out of this game. A very, very bloody trade on the side of this hill. Firefighter now on the far, far back side and wanting nothing to do with this fight. Can't blame him too much. He is currently, I believe, 1 versus 3 and trying to sneak past the remainder of Team Almost. Should be able to do so, but now he's got to worry about teams coming to him south. Like, we suck. We know we suck.
Yeah, and I mean, that was a clean wipe from Team Almost. They did lose 1, unfortunately, but it does, I mean, I'd say losing 1 to pick up 3 is worth it, especially with the new meta.
The 2-man split, the 2-man remainder. Remnants of Teletubbies trying to get some long-range damage here on a play when he's worth Sizzy down. Is Harold forced on the high ground to run into Kanye 2020. A lot of trouble Player One Esports is in as the vehicle gets detonated. They lose one of the 2 players associated with that accident, but Harold is able to make it into the cover provided by the shelter area.
And I mean, getting at least 1 into shelter is good because it's like you said, if you're a solo, it's definitely one of the few places on the map that's just absolutely phenomenal for a solo player to hide out in. It's so there's just so many different places.
Oh, Turtle, he didn't want to do that.
The exact same spot.
He's pulling up on his teammate's corpse. This is not what you want to do here. He didn't mean to do that either. You saw the angle at which that vehicle was going down there, and now he's literally dying on his teammate's corpse. That is pretty funny. Although as we're looking over here, we actually see some fire put out from Mutant, almost taking Kleinman down. But it's going to be, I mean, too little too late. Here isn't even the story. Like, Harold is not in a position to get the res than Turtle. He's just going to be going down here.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if they super smoke it, but even then, that's a risky push. You can see that they're trying. They're looking that direction.
How many smoke grenades is a super smoke?
I would say at least 3. Okay. I'd say 3 would be a super smoke.
Is that a patented happy camper play?
Yeah. Yep. Anytime someone goes down, we automatically call out super smoke. Super smoke me. It's not just smoke me, it's super smoke me. 3 smokes minimum. No, but realistically, I do think if they had 3 smokes, they could have Harold cover, and it looks like it's exactly what they're doing here.
Oh my God! Okay.
Oh, they didn't smoke good enough.
Wait, there's a hole.
Yeah.
There's a hole in the smoke. Oh, okay, no, this is X-ray. It's just the X-ray. That was literally dumb luck. They're able to find you all through the smoke here. Able to get the res. Oh my God, headshot hitting his pan. Hitting the UAZ. Forced to go down. They're dying from literally the same thing. If you prone, your legs stick out, but if you crouch, your head sticks out. Oh, and now Zwizap Arsher able to just eventually find him just through sheer volume of bullets. Like you can only be in like one spot, literally.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really easy to find him just by process of elimination. You know, you see it, you shoot there, you don't see the dust kick up, and it's like, all right, he's right there.
It almost would have been worth just trying to get another smoke off just a little bit, like to the right, just a tad.
Yeah, then
to where you can move in.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you're not behind any cover, but at least you're not having to take random shots. And
bit of a mind game there.
That's really good from Teletubbies to stick with it though, and just keep firing through the smoke on hopes that you connect with some bullets. And I mean, persistence paid off there.
Yeah, volume of bullets as well. Going into the 14-minute mark this game. Bit of revenge from Polar Race. They blow the head off a hockey there off to the, I believe that is the east side. They took the Nubacabra and they will be getting their own helmets taken off, but not going to be any kills happening at that distance. A lot of hard cover for both teams to use to get any potential reses off.
Yeah, I want to take note of Xvolution and DWAD's position off to the south here in comparison to their teammates. I'm loving this hole.
The south side.
Yeah, they have this entire, like, they're controlling probably like 20% of the circle just from these 2 different positions. They know everything to their south is completely open. They know at least everything for the next like 400 meters to their north is completely open. They have so much potential third party. Now, granted, Kleinman's trying to rain down on them from afar.
These are really good peaks too.
Yeah, really good peaks. But overall, I mean, I love the split from them.
Panda team kind of reminds me of Moonwolf, dude.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Like pretty aggro play. They almost always favor information. Like they sometimes have rep early games and make it to the mid game, and it's like, oh my God, you have to watch out for Panda team. I think that their early game is a bit stronger. Like I think that like Moonwolf sometimes has trouble like finding like decent fights in the early game, but Panda team seem like they're always in like a good spot. And you're even finding a lot of really good intel, a lot of really good information. Like you were saying, having control of a good chunk of the zone, they pretty much have free reign to move anywhere along this western stretch here.
Yep.
They don't really quite know that, but they have a good idea of how much intel they have. Now, though, 5 seconds left before the next shrink. Shelter is a hotbed of chaos in action. And we'll be seeing that continue as it is in the next zone. A bit of a hardship to the north. Teletubbies loving what they're seeing, as well as Mutant Gaming holding a beautiful dip here in this next zone.
Yeah, Mutant Gaming's position is going to get them a lot of kills because the teams that rotate in, maybe not this circle, but definitely the next circle. The teams that rotate in, there's not much ground to play on the outside of this circle, and at least that's in cover. And so basically a lot of these teams are going to have to drive right past Mutant Gaming, just offering their heads up.
No way, Deadeye. That's a hell of a flick. You don't have enough mouse pad space to make that work, I bet. Goes for anybody, though, but Marsalek and Rocket Cutie are a much better proposition for him. Taking a lot of pressure, though, saying, nope, not today. Let me just take a quick breath, see what's going on here. At some point, we already did lose Fujipio. I don't actually remember when that happened. To my knowledge, they were holding this compound the entire time.
Not sure what happened.
So not sure how that happened, but that will put them in a 1 or 3v4 situation, a one-player deficit going against Bonzo team, our current first place team. So definitely a lot of pressure on them to do whatever they can to take this team out. Bonzo as well has sniffed out that this team, they're isolated. And I'm not sure if they knew this or not, but they might even be down a player. There's not many rifles trained toward them right now. So there's a lot of little hints that are saying, hey, maybe this push, maybe this is something, if we get a nice cheat on, is something we can make work.
I just want to note the first place is currently tied between Bonzo team and Teletubbies. Teletubbies has 6 kills to their name already, and they were down 5 points. And so then combine that with Bonzo's team 1 point here, they're tied right now. And so either of these teams go out early without racking up a few more points, then the other team's likely going to take the position from them.
I'm wondering if Bonzo is looking at this, and I don't know if they figured out who Teletubbies are, what their players are, and are saying, like, oh, we saw them in the kill feed like a ton.
Yeah.
Like, we got to do something here.
Yeah.
I also do like this in general. They've driven around a lot. They have good intel on the north side of the zone, and they're pretty much saying, like, there's no one else here. We can definitely make this happen. A bit of a bad peek there from Swetsky, like a half-body peek right there for what should have only been his head. Will make him take a lot of damage from Marsalek, and definitely getting his armor and helmet battered and bruised here as it begins to fall to pieces.
I'm loving this from Bonzo team. Marsalek with 10 smoke grenades to himself.
I didn't see that.
10 smoke grenades. He had, I think it was 6 first aids, a med kit, and 10 smoke grenades. The utility on these guys is unreal. 5 smoke grenades tomorrow. So between these two, 15 smoke grenades. You can literally push across this entire map with 15 smoke grenades. This circle, at least. Not the entire.
This is a good zone for it, too, because if they have to push south with no cars, they're going to be in trouble. We do see in the kill feed that Polaris is eliminated by the gatekeep/rotation camp from Zwitap. They had to run across an open road. That's just how it goes a lot of the time if you can't find a knock. Shelter's still beginning to pop off as it looks as, whoa, I am very surprised to be seeing Panda Team take this route in, but I guess, well, they could have gone west, but I guess they thought there was more equity going this way. We see it works out for them. I think I like it, but there is going to be a lot of people to kill. There's the entirety of Team Ready as well as the 3 or 4 teams of
Tanaka's getting in on this too.
Oh God, Tanaka! Oh yeah, he's just driving. He's just sending it right into Harold's hole. Ball, but Harold holding it. So wait, is he holding it, or did he find out that it was? Wait, let's get a shot of this entryway, because I think that there's a UAZ blocking it. Although it's a Dacia blocking it.
You could jump over that one, though.
Well,
I mean,
Harold's
you could get
watching it, and if you walk down there,
if Tanaka goes down there, Harold.
this Dacia is a warning, man. He's like walking. He's like, what is this? What is in front of me? Is he scouting? Is he scouting from the side seat?
You got to control for it, Tanaka.
Well, I think he knows, but I think he's just being very. No, actually, he doesn't know. Okay, but he's making a lot of noise as he makes his way in here.
Oh, Harold could have heard the footsteps there.
He definitely heard Harold. He's saying, "Oh man, his heart must be racing."
Kanye 2020 is pushing up on the flank as well. They're down below. Yeah, they're down there with Harold. It looks like they're pushing up more towards.
Tanaka. He's going in. He's creeping forward, slow crouch walking. Harold did something. Oh, but he hears Panda Team coming from behind. He's going left, looking right, saying, "What do I do?" Harold's right in front of him. Oh my God! Oh, he absolutely hears it. Oh, and goes to the spray down, taking Harold out of this game. Harold had no idea that he was there. And now, look at as well outside Invasion, able to take down Xvolution on the outside. I didn't even know that he had his teammates alive for Team Almost, but they're actually making some good plays happen.
Yeah, it is.
Whoa! How
did I not kill him?
I don't know. He got one. That's more than enough here for, against Connie 2020.
2020 eliminated.
Oh, they're actually getting some kills on each other during that as well. Not sure that happened, but someone actually sprayed someone else on their team down during that fight. Team almost still trying to get what they can done here in the low ground. Looks like they were able to clear it out for the most part. Tanaka was, but that does mean that the two strongest teams in the area, Panda Team and Team Ready, are still up, still alive, but are under some pressure from the Southeast. Team Ready is, as we do have, I think it's just Lazy J.
Super Saiyan.
Yeah, making his way in from the east side. This frag might make some magic happen. He needs to do something. He needs to do something right now, but the frag from the Southern Memo effect will clear it out, allowing Ira to get the res on death and make their way in a little bit more in the zone. This ridge line is barely in. Panting is the only spot that's in, but taking some pressure from team almost. They're trying to hold it as best they can, but Tanaka coming from under. They didn't know he was coming in. Oh, Tanaka doesn't see him at the end of the smoke. His gun was covering him up, and now Tanaka will die due to what could have been like a little bit of different FOV settings. Hell, could have even saved him right there. And now I think it's just Yusogel who's coming in. And Yusro, I was talking to Evasion about this. He's like their rank taking player, and at this point in the game, you don't really want that as much. So he's like, it's good that he's still alive right now, but coming in from the right side, it's just not quite there. Yuso, you can take my memo effect, but while Team Ready is sending it, the two-man send, 2-2 split, but Kleiman holding such a cheeky camp on the right side. Iro spotting out, goes with his free fire, but actually he's going to be working against him as Kleiman with a beautiful peek takes him down. It's a low HP. The frag being primed. Oh no! Chucked right over the car. Bounces off it. And to note as well, Ira was dead as soon as the grenade came out. The UAZs do not block explosive damage, so he would have been dead wherever that grenade landed up.
Yeah, that great play from Kleinman there. Team Ready's not an easy team. Memo, I think, connecting with some shots. Or maybe, no, that looked like it was the team off to the.
No, that was Memo. The color lined up there with the hit points.
Dang. Good shot
Next
from Memo.
shot, I think. Oh, it was just a headshot with the SKS. No, that was the next shot with the M24.
Yeah, M24. That was close.
He's angry. He's feeling angry right now, making some very, very quick peeks at Reggie over on the far, far side of the zone. He's trying to find him, actually pre-firing the bush there on the side. Does have a couple of options, a lot of bodies to loot. I think that he was actually potentially able to take down Pan Team. I'm not actually sure what happened to them at this stage, but you mentioned before, Mutant Gaming. The four-man green team, the best spot right now. But with Bonzo above them, actually, taking a lot of shots, he gets it down. Marcelek begins to make his push. They're making the sign. We are ready to go right now. But oh, look over here, soon TM, the Austin boys shooting him in the back, slowing the push down. The main push down. Marcelek now left alone, shooting a couple of downs on the side, but he sees some players in the open. Marcelek getting a lot of damage on to one player, almost takes him down. Does get the kill on the Drakvik, hiding the smoke as he begins getting pushed on the right side. Goes to the re-push on the side. I'm not sure if the smoke settings are what, but he just can't quite see one player. Light firing all around is a little whirlwind of bullets as he's able to take girl power down. One player looks like he's trying to buy times with his team to come around and help him, hiding the side of the smoke and able to take down Mutant Gaming. Marcelek, it's like I'm watching like a COD campaign right now. That was a sick play from him.
He just ran into their smokes and used it against them.
That was nutty.
Great plays from Marcelek there, and we saw him show up big in previous games too. I think he was their kill leader going into this game.
He's pretty good. I
think he had 8 alone in game 2.
Oh, Memo effect with his WTSG hoodie, doing whatever he can, but you're going to need more than concealment to get out of this one, buddy. Pre-fire going on the right side, trying to stretch him out. Snip on the right, Kleinman on the left. This is going to be a hard peak to win, and somehow Kleinman almost able to find these, but Beard out with an M24 chest shot, able to take him out. That's going to be Zwitap snagging that kill away from the Teletubbies. Still, their combo in play, but soon TM as well with 0 kills, but one of the best spots in the zone. They're still in this game. They could make some magic happen in this game. Last place could get rocketed up from this one.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 7 people alive, so even if they were to kill everyone else remaining, they're still looking at a 17-point win, which is huge points, do not get me wrong. But at the same time, like, you would have hoped to at least put up a few kills by the time it got down to 11 alive.
They're getting zone again. Bonzo having a pretty good spot. The combat having a good spot. But the really big story is that Zwitap are just like extra bone now because they're on the far west side. Have to push into either
split.
Either a compound or a dip through an open field. They're pretty much just going to be watching these two players die and then the game proceed onward.
Yeah, I mean, Reggie might be able to prone his way into a free crate, but then die shortly after. So You know.
Maybe get some missions done.
Yeah, right? Loot 7 alms from the crate.
Oh, good. Well, 1 down, 7 to go, maybe. Our show making his play there on the far west side, though, getting pretty close to Bonzo team. Might be able to get in close as they're not actually peeking their west side.
Ooh, the
using
smokes.
a lot of smokes again. He actually begin to getting fired upon by the Teletubbies. The boys on Bonzo realizing something is up, and that those smokes don't spawn themselves after all. Molotov getting very, very close here. This is not CSGO.
Oh, he's gonna run into it.
Oh no, he ran into the smoke and then he set himself on fire. This is not CSGO. Smokes do not put up Molotovs or however the hell that works. They do persist. And so a great strategy against smoke grenades is to throw a Molotov in. They can't see the fire because of the smoke, and then you just run into it and die.
Yeah, that's that's unfortunate for our show. I mean, they secured themselves a top 4, and I'm pretty sure they have a decent amount of kills to their name as well. If I'm not mistaken,
I don't quite remember.
last time we had looked at them, they had like 7.
Oh, he's feeding Teletubbies even more, man.
Bad mannered. Yeah, Bonzo downed you. You should crawl towards them. Actually, I'm just kidding. I am guilty of that too. Like a little bit of saltiness, you know. You got killed from them. I'm giving the points to these other guys.
Just a last act of rebellion.
Yeah, right.
I like it. Somehow Reggie able to stay alive. I think that mostly is a testament to Teletubbies only having 2 players. He's trying to find that little head. I think he almost shot him in the hand actually with that little animation as you underhand a grenade.
Reggie did make it in. It looks like he's borderline out.
Borderline.
But it's the smoke.
No hard
I like
cover.
it. Yeah.
No hard cover.
Question is, did he get the crate? I think he did. He did get the crate.
He didn't like whatever gun was in there. Hold on.
It's probably an M249.
It's probably an M249. Oh, it's an AUG. Okay, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. I would have attempted to kick him mid-game if it was a 249. It's probably good they don't have any admin controls. New zone, however, popping, and I think at this point, soon TM. This is going to be a pretty rough time for them.
It's kind of an even circle for all the teams that are still in, though. Like every single one of them.
That is too early to blow this out. That is way too early to blow this out. You can easily take those cars to the top of the ridgeline and hold them there, but Muff Butter blowing them out here, that doesn't actually do anything for you.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I probably would have moved them up the ridge a little bit, and so they could have used those as hard cover at the top of the ridge and fought from them. But now they're going to be stuck having to play at the bottom of the ridge with them, and if they want to go up and peek or go out any further, then they got to offer themselves up. If they have smokes, they could probably make it work because, I mean, realistically, they haven't had to fight too much this game or at all.
Literally not. They have 0 kills.
They probably still have all of their smokes available. I mean, shoot, we saw it on Bonzo. They had 15 smokes between 2 players. Don't know how many that they still have here, but yeah, I mean, this guy doesn't have any. Marcelek's down to 4, so he used 6 smokes in that team
has
fight.
used collective 7 smokes at some point in time. That whole fight, and that's actually Marcelek, man. After watching that fight happen and how many smokes he carried, he's a smoking master, man. Just chuck him in there, watch the chaos ensue, and then just run in, get your AK out, get some close range damage going. Bonzo playing very, very passively. They're kind of running out of hard cover. All they have left here against the Teletubbies specifically are smokes here. As soon as this 2-story is out, they're going to be feeling a lot better about the position because the high ground can't see them over the ridgeline. But until it happens, they will be in a bit of trouble. Actually, Kleinman's literally sitting in this building despite it being in the blue. Until the last second, he wanted to try and punish Bonzo team for potentially moving out, but can't do that anymore. But the zone sucks for everyone.
Yeah, and it's all about who's going to make the first move because I think it's going to be just like the first Ergo game where the people who move first are going to be ended up taken out first. Wow, look at all these smokes coming out. I would agree with that. I think if they waited a little bit longer, maybe another like
unless they have
5-10 seconds.
Unless they have 20 and these don't matter, this is too early. They're trying to get closer for a little bit. Looking over here though, soon TM, this is the first big play. Maru able to take down 1. Phobes looking for a second, sprays at Marcelek, and him and Phobes together. Actually, no, Phobes is able to take him out, getting that trade nice and ready. Davidus trying to punish Maru, but the lack of an extended mag making him unable to finish him off, and Rashu there for the trade. 2 players down to the cost of 1. That's a good trade if Bonzo team ever saw one. Meanwhile, Teletubbies was able to sit alone in the smoke during all the action. This is what they did in their first Erangel win, and they're doing it again, getting away with literal murder, doing literally nothing. Rashu, though, they were trying to turn the Frogger, but they were able to get the res off on their teammate.
Nice nade.
Frog here confirming both their kills, and now they're running dead into the Teletubbies, but it was still Bonzo able to get all these kills, and now 2v2 situation, but Kleiman with a double kill on the AK spray. Hugely impactful play, prone from the smoke here. These guys are prone masters. Now Rashku, the last one that's alive, is spotted here. Rashku, some great SLR plays. Snip unable to make the work happen, but the blue coming in, but Snip unable to save him. The grass is too long as Rashku at 1/3 HP begins crawling in, barely outpacing the zone. Snip doing the same thing on his end as well.
Yeah, I mean, Rashku took, he got the first aid off good. I was about to say, he took a little bit too much damage from the blue, and Snip, they're both at 75 HP, so it's...
Maro buying it, but he thought it was the down player, and now begins shooting at Rashku, but Rashku pumping out the win against the top 2 team. They did have a numbers advantage, but they walked away with, I think, every single kill in that end game.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right.
All Asun, all a Teletubbies.
Kleinman, 10 kills. This guy, he has more kills than the majority of these teams, more kills in one game than a lot of these teams have.
I think
in 3.
literally all of them besides Reggie Bearder, that's going to be Zoitap, as well as Bonzo team. I think he personally outscores everyone else. And that was literally just him sitting in a great building for just like sight lines and just shooting at people.
Yeah.
That's all he did that game, was just shoot at people.
I mean, the biggest thing was holding off the crash from Team Ready. Kleinman being able to sit, granted, it was a cheeky angle. Not too many people would expect someone to be sitting right inside that corner. It definitely caught Team Ready off guard. But at the same time, I mean, that's a hard 1v2. I mean, 1v1. He took down one of them like immediately as soon as he came in the compounds. And then once his location was known, it's more of a 1v1. But still, 1v1 with Iroh, he played it well, secured himself 10 kills for the game, plus a win. I mean, that's huge.
And like, who are these guys? Like,
they're showing up big today. I like it.
Like, they're doing so much.
Taking home both the Erangel games with plenty of kills.
No.
Bonzo took home.
Although a second place with as many kills as they get.
Yeah, I was about to say that counts as a win in my books personally. If you get over 10 kills plus a second or first place, like you just racked up more points than a lot of teams will see in the series.
Bonzo and Teletubbies.
That was phenomenal play from them. Bonzo pushing down onto Mutant Gaming's position. That was a little sloppy on the execution, but overall was pretty good.
They sent 2 third-partied from soon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whenever they were in the smokes, there's a couple times whenever, and granted, it could just be because we're observers and we can see through the smoke a little easier. We know where to look because we have the outlines of the bodies. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure there's a couple different times, like I think twice, he had seen an enemy close to him, but I think his focus was a little just elsewhere. Yeah. But again, it could have been the smoke. I think so. Okay. I mean, they did well. They as far as if you're going to crash that, you definitely want to send 2. If it's a 4-man crash, you send 2 over the hill with the smokes and 2 on your vehicle to the shack. And that's exactly what they did. They lost 1 at the shack, which was unfortunate. But having that shack control basically splits that team's vision. And now they're going to have to focus north and they're going to have to focus east, or I guess a little northeast. And so it just makes it so much easier of a push rather than just like trying to smoke and go down. And it's also worth noting that they had smoked their enemies. They threw all their smokes up and into their enemies. And so it clouded that entire line of sight. Rather than you typically see they'll smoke in front of him, which I'm not entirely sure where they threw all of their smokes, but from what I could tell, it was primarily at their enemies rather than in their path. Yeah. And so typically you'll see smoke lines all the way across their path, so they have an easy run in.
From your smoke and sort of like a 50-50 fight. Like, but you have cover, they have cover. It's balanced that way.
It almost looked like they got the initial knock or saw the initial knock, and they chucked all their smokes onto the enemies, and it works, and it worked right there, and we saw it firsthand, and it's just a great push from Bonzo.
And the reason I want to bring these 2 teams up as well is because going into that game, Teletubbies and Bonzo team were the top 2 placed teams. So the fact that they were once again in first and second is showing some insane consistency in these games, as they are leagues ahead of every single other team in this lobby. In fact, Teletubbies Zwitap. Like,
Zwitap.
like, who are these guys? I haven't seen them before, but they're making huge plays.
I wanted to talk about Zwitap a little bit. They went out in fourth that game. We saw the guy proning along, trying to make it by the crate and everything. And I had mentioned, I was like, I'm pretty sure last time we went on them, we saw them with a decent amount of kills. They finished that game with 12 kills. We had a 12 kill, 13 kill, 12 kill between the top three teams. Hold up. 22, 19, and 16 points in a solo game. This is just like huge. That's a lot. That's a lot of the points.
Let's do some quick math here. That's 37 kills in a 64-player lobby.
Yep.
To 3 of the 16 teams.
Yep. Like, just a phenomenal show out from these 3 teams. They played aggressive. I think we saw Zwitap. They were the ones that eliminated Polar Ace off to the west. So basically, they were gatekeeping gods that game. They kept out multiple different teams. They got the points they needed to, and they secured placement points as well.
You can't be mad about a 16-point game. You can't
Not
be
at
mad.
all.
Even if you don't get up to the Teletubbies, to the Bonzo team like league of points there, you can't be mad about that. So huge props to Zwitap. I feel like this is a good time as well to talk about the wild card qualification method for the season 1 finale here for SSL. So the way that we qualify people for the finale is it's week 8, the last week of SSL season 1. $5,000 on the line, as well as, well, that's actually it. There's $5,000 on the line. But the way you qualify is for weeks 1 through 7. If you get top 2, you get entry into that tournament. The 2 wild card qualification methods are if you're the top killer or the top overall scorer from a non-qualified team across any of the 7 rounds. So if you're one of those 2 teams, if that's one of you guys, then you're going to be able to get into week 8 without getting into a top 2 from weeks 1 through 7. Right now, it's looking like Zwitap is going to get that hold for themselves, because I'm pretty sure a lot of weeks kind of look like this one, whereas like the top 2 teams just like leagues and leagues and leagues ahead of everyone else, and then top 3 and beyond that was much more close. Although as I say that, the same can be said for last week, except for his top 4 instead of top 3, with top 4 tying for 43, 42, and 42 points.
Yeah, I mean, last week's the top placements were a lot closer. Here, we're seeing kind of a lead, and I mean, that's going to happen even if we were on the old point system. The fact that Bonzo won 2 games, and then their other game they took a third, that is going to be such a huge point deficit. And the fact that Teletubbies is keeping up with them. I mean, if Teletubbies took out that 11th place and did a little better there, or picked up a few more kills, like we're looking at a closer leaderboard.
I think an old point system, like Bonzo would just be like a lot further ahead than Teletubbies, right?
I would say so. Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. They're both doing relatively the same in kill points, which is why we're seeing it kind of close as far as the leaderboards. Because I mean, they're going toe and toe as far as kill points. Yeah. But the placement points, the difference between the 5th place, or well, it was a 3rd place finish for Bonzo, and then an 11th place finish for Teletubbies. You know, that's quite the difference. That's the thing that's separating these 2 teams. And so you going into this final game, you know, maybe we're going to see an upset, but I think it's going to be those 2 teams primarily in 1st and 2nd, and then
who can keep up?
Yeah, who can keep up? Maybe Zwitap.
Maybe Rarity, man.
Maybe Rarity. Yeah, that didn't work out how I had predicted. Chat, if you didn't know, I cannot see the future, so now you do know.
I don't know, man. I think that you might be pretty good at losing after today.
It's practice, all right?
I guess better to lose now.
We're talking about practice.
Yeah. Hopefully get all this losing out of the way, then scrims and all the competitive games, and get just ready to win. That's how it's going to be.
Yep.
One more game ready for you guys today, by the way. We'll be going to EU Miramar for the last game. The question is, will Teletubbies or Bonzo, which one of those 2 will get 1st place, and who's going to be able to get into 3rd? Will it be Zwitap, who's currently in 3rd place? Will they be able to get into the money, or will it be someone else who's among maybe our top 10, have a really good game, and snag that position right away from them? I'm not quite sure who it's going to be. I'll be very curious to see it, because Miramar, very, very different beast than Erangel. Because and it's important to note, we keep talking about Teletubbies. Oh, 11th place this one game. 11th place. What map was that though? That was Miramar, and I'm not gonna say they got unlucky, but the timings were not there for Teletubbies. Like they rolled up, occupied shed. Like who will the shed? Well, I guess Miramar, like in this circumstance, in this kind of zone, you do. And it's like they just got like a sixth sense for Erangel. Teletubbies do. It feels like they just don't quite have for Miramar.
Yeah, and that's understandable. I mean, they probably put a tenth of as much time into Miramar as they have Erangel, just because of the
like
time.
Almost everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And if they've been in comp for a while, then they're probably used to playing Miramar and have the spots down and the rotation times and everything. But even then, I mean, with the new loot settings and the new circle settings, it threw everyone off with the rotation path. The pathing, not as much. It kind of with the fact that the not so commonly camped rotation paths are now being camped.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of the commonly camped rotation paths are now open because teams just are like, yeah, these teams are going to avoid it. So we're going to be seeing that even out a little bit. But overall, it's just it's interesting to see how some of these teams treat Miramar as opposed to Erangel.
I'll definitely be looking forward to see how that goes in the last game here today. Specifically, if Teletubbies continues to lose people in rotation, but also I know there's a couple other teams that we haven't really just seen too much of today, like Player One Esports Latin America. Definitely a team I expected to be making really, really big strides today, but appearing to be overshadowed completely by teams like Bonzo Team, like Teletubbies, and arguably even ZWITAP, who certainly ZWITAP have been taking a lot of really good trades to themselves pretty much all night. No good placements yet, but definitely the kill points to back up. And it appears like that's like a style they're going for intentionally as well. Just doing whatever it takes to win whatever fight is at hand, and then dealing with the consequences later. I think that we saw that a lot in the Game 2, the Miramar fight, versus, I think it was Panda Team outside Curfews. We talked about it a little bit earlier. But, you know, in Phase 3, willing to take like a 2-kilometer blue tank just to get a slightly better position on a team that was gatekeeping them. The pieces really had to fit into place the exact correct way for ZWITAP to survive that. But I think that in this last game, we'll be seeing a lot more ZWITAP.
Yeah, I would like to. I mean, they did really well Game 3, and we didn't get to catch a lot of their plays, unfortunately. I mean, 12 kills, and granted, a lot of them is from rotation camping, but still, it's like, I want to see that action translated over onto Miramar.
Ugly map. Ugly flight plan.
Yeah. The map's not ugly, okay? What are you talking about?
Sorry.
He didn't mean it Miramar.
I mean, there are some spots that need to be airbrushed down.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like I'm San Martin, looking at those old warehouses that don't really exist anymore. Still see outlines of them like a year later. But besides that, map's beautiful. Just don't go with dawn settings. Everything's just yellow and orange. You can't see anything at that point.
That's a good point.
Dude, I hate dawn settings.
I think we all do.
Screw you, dawn settings. I can't see anything. My eyes don't work at dawn. It doesn't work.
Fortunately for Comp, we get to have bright, sunny games every day.
There was a point in time when I was working with PUBG Online, there was like one time where the settings were on dawn because I think it was like me and Dave were in Charter Circle settings. And just like, it doesn't even matter. Like, just put it on dawn. Give them something different to look at, and people were pissed. We were just like, what's the problem? And then that was the point in time where I got a lot of PMs. I was just like, I'm mad. This is why I'm mad. And I was just like, oh,
okay. I learned something new today.
I was being a butthole to everyone because I just didn't know better out of ignorance. So luckily, I know better now.
We see Team Ready going out for Val.
Free
it's kind of
Val
interesting.
Del Mar.
They dropped almost like it was almost a kilometer into the plane path, and it's after it looks as if 3 teams have already jumped out. So it's kind of interesting to see whoever is IGLing for them, maybe Iro, make that decision and be like, all right, I know a lot of people have already dropped out of the plane, but no one's going Val. Let's hit Val.
I wonder if there was like initially just going for car spawns around that area, and then they were just like, oh, Val's open.
That could be the case.
All right, Picado, Hot Drop Nation, a couple of teams with nothing to lose and a lot to prove. Is this going to be where we're seeing it? It looks like soon TM and Kanye 2020 will be taking this opportunity to provide us with some early entertainment. But meanwhile, Exodus as well, going for a quick island vacation here. Texan Toxic and Ryan, I didn't see them play in Game 1, 2, and 3. Showed up here in Game 4. Happy to see some regular phases here coming out today as well. Looks like soon TM able to take the northern half Picado and Connie 2020 able to take the southern half. And actually some hot drops going on to the west of this with Teletubbies and Players. That's actually a bigger story than this, as this is one of our really big teams coming out here who is completely trapped and encircled by Player One Esports.
He's about to get hit in the back and sizzling.
Whoa, he turned on him. Whoa. able to get the flush as well, even if he does go. Whoa, Harold is okay. I thought that Harold died there for some reason, but somehow Ibis able to get a kill there onto whoever that was around the corner. The Uzi worth its weight in gold there. Yeah, Sizzlin, and Sizzlin, that's their best DMR player. He has such good map awareness. He's a really good player on their team. For him to go down so early is bad news bears for Player One Esports.
Yeah, and I mean, especially for Teletubbies too. Ibis 10, like it's a good player. You know, he's not their top fragger by any means, but at the same time, like losing one early in a game that like you.
No way, Muff Butter. Oh, if you cooked it a little bit. He didn't think that was going in. He was just like, I'm gonna chuck it in there and see what happens. And then he was just like, oh, that was good. Oh, I didn't cook it though.
I thought had he cooked it, that would have been perfect.
Yeah, but Lemon Drop's able to stay alive for now. Spin as well, holding the apartments, sort of keeping back the Awesome Boys, while the rest of Kanye 2020, Ryan, I believe that is Texan, actually no, Ripper and Chroma, excuse me, continue to loot up on the south and east sides. Ripper now thinking about joining the fight, but not much work to be done, as Awesome is not showing any any signs of wanting to leave this luchador arena.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to leave. They got 84 bullets and a VSS. Like, they're good for the rest of the game.
Endgame, dude.
Until Blue pushes them out.
Let's look at the west side here really quick. The area outside Monte Nuevo. There's a lot of people here that, what the heck? Why is this as occupied as it is, with a split around Monte Nuevo from its Polar Ace? Going for a new strategy. This looks like they have a lot of things to, once again, nothing to lose, everything to prove here on the west side, trying out a new strategy here. Meanwhile, we are seeing as well in the kill feed, Teletubbies getting more and more kills. Revengeance. That's not a word, but revengeance on to Player One Esports. I'm getting inspired by some Metal Gear titles.
All right, there we go. They did lose one early, but they've already picked themselves up 2 kills. I personally believe 3 kills is the cutoff on when I would be okay on losing a player. If you get 3 kills per player death, you're looking at a 12-kill game each game. Like that's a great chunk of it's a great chunk of points. And so, granted, it's not always going to work out like that. You definitely don't want to lose one early. But if you're gonna, Ibis being able to get a kill is huge. Ammo, going down, yeah. He is by himself, no teammates in the surrounding area besides maybe Ronan off to the south, but Ronan's not going to be able to go help or get some revengeance there, so he's just going to hang out. Yeah, I like it. Webster's Dictionary, 2020.
Let's not look it up. Don't look it up until I tell you to look it up. How's that sound?
There you go.
Let's see if it's a word. The thing I don't like about this from Polar Race is that Monte Nuevo with loot settings, you don't really need to loot outside of it.
You don't.
It's for loot. You don't need to.
Even on the previous loot settings, Monty was enough for 4.
Maybe it was due to them trying to go for something different, like something like rotation camping based. Not sure exactly what it is, but looking over here, Super Saiyans trying to potentially get a couple of cheeky kills onto Winzy. Shuku with a 3x barrel, no meds. This is not the situation you want to be in to try and steal some kills, but I guess it's some good loot if you can get these 2 kills.
Hey, he's got 5 bandages. As well as 2 kill. This is not a good loadout, Shuku. Again, he'll catch one of them off guard. As long as he can get that initial knock and then turn it into 1v1, he could be working with something here.
He's not in zone, so there's no incentive for them to stay here. They will begin leaving, but not in the correct direction, I don't think. He's not even looking at Dirty's end. He might even be crossing over. In the middle of the open. Just 2 ships passing in the night.
What's funny is both these guys are going to run away, and Shuku's going to sit here for another 5 minutes. He's going to sit here for another 5 minutes waiting for them to leave this compound.
Cue the Benny Hill music, man, because no one knows what's going on here. Shuku's just like pacing around. It's like, where are they?
All right, we're 5:50 into the game, and I just want to see how. Oh, it looks like he was just not moving. So, okay. Oh no, he's still there. This is funny. No, not gonna lie. Like, this is comical. It's kind of interesting with this circle. Granted, a lot of it's in the water, but with this circle, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, there's a third of the teams playing right now that are inside the circle. The previous game on Erangel, there was maybe 2 to 3 teams that weren't in the first circle on loot phase. Like, literally, it was interesting. I wanted to make note of it before this game started, but literally, like 15 out of 16 of the teams were landed inside the circle.
Well, talking about the circle, these guys got to end this fight soon. Spam getting spotted by Davidus here in the second story. Widow, good eyes from him, not going too all in here. Might be able to find a frag. It spends hard holding that peak, but
ambitious. Ambitious. He might have thought Spin saw him and started, and maybe he's holding off the push.
Yep.
Because I mean, it would have effectively probably shut down the push had Sven.
And now Sven knows he got spotted. Back and off, getting shot in the back by Homesick with the car 9, but backing off, not able to get down. And now Kanye 2020 not feeling good with this push either, because they're saying, why aren't they pushing us? Why don't we have kills just being funneled down our throats here? And all of them just like, nope, we're just gonna sit here. That's what got us in 3rd place last game. And it's a tried and true tactic, just to sit there and see what something happens.
It is kind of interesting how long Soon had kept 3 people inside the boxing ring.
I mean, they got 2 cars on the west side, on the west intersection.
Right.
Like, so there's a lot of equity, especially with like old settings, not so much the new ones, but definitely the old score settings rather, for them to sit here. Davidus here is just kind of like, get some kills if we can, we'll push out if we can, but besides that, just, we don't really want to leave.
Yeah. And I mean, Davidus kind of pushing out, getting a little aggressive on this, because if anyone was sitting in that 5-story, he's spotted out. And, I mean, he's got some cover here, but there's so many windows he could be peeked from right now. He's lucky that Kanye 2020 backed off. He does spot out Chroma. He's got the 4X on the Scar. He could take these shots and maybe potentially get it down in the finish.
Definitely now.
Yeah, Chroma's completely out in the open. He does take the shots. Davidus, right over. He makes it over the next ridge. That's so unfortunate, giving away his position. Spin's the only one that can punish him at the moment, though. But Davidus is going to be able to get back.
Oh, a headshot. Oh, 1 HP run! Able to give it here behind the wall.
Oh, my God.
Able to med kit as
Muff
well.
Butter connecting with the head of Chroma, leaving Kanye just with 3 men up. They're going to have to reposition quick. Davidus is very lucky he's alive at the moment, or at least not downed.
Yep, literally 1 HP. That ain't skill, that is luck, my friend, even with some good juice aside. Homesick thinking he sees a little head there, but the 2X has to squint pretty dang hard to actually see there. 2-2 split here coming from Kanye. A 4 split rather, as one player has to go for the res here, and the other the two back players from the Awesome team forced to go back, get their cars, and as they don't want to be too stranded here in the blue, especially the players coming in. Muff Butter as well, going for a very wide split. Looks like everyone's just trying to be like, all right, shoot him in the back if you can, but when the cars show up, we're getting out of here. But Davidus, no, he's saying here, he wants to take the 1v1. He knows that's been distracted and needs to help Muff Butter out now. Actually, no, and he doesn't even go pushing early enough to help with the flush prevention strategy.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for Muff Butter. He got a little bit too ambitious on that outward push. Had he waited, 20 seconds, he would have had to ride out of town rather than trying to have to run through the open. It's just unfortunate. I mean, they have to run straight into a play. Oh, Davidus connecting with Spin. Evening out the trade, got some revengeance. Sorry, I'm not going to let you live that one down.
Fair enough.
But we do have Phobes making it inside the circle. Turtle is going to push up on his flank. Phobes has no clue he's here. This is trouble for Phobes.
But he's chucking a frag, and once that frag comes out, Phobes know that this is the time to be afraid. And luckily,
he gets the
Murado behind, giving him cover. Oh, weaving left, weaving right.
This
is
bad mannered right
here. Phobes didn't turn
Don't
around
stop
for
moving,
that frag.
Phobes.
He needs to. He's even jumping around, getting in his car, the straight up stars, and Phobes got him. Good job, Phobes. But
the kill stolen. Chroma, you jerk. No, that was good play from Phobes. Now, chat, that's exactly why 100% you don't stop moving. You don't ever stop. And that just makes the headshot that much harder. I mean, granted, had Turtle whipped out the Scar right off the start and just sprayed at Phobes, probably would have had the down. But the fact that he was going for the headshot there, and because Phobes never stopped moving, Phobes is still alive. Man, he almost had a kill if it wasn't for Chroma. Oh,
Teletubbies climbing their top fragger, getting shot out by Chroma V1. Now, Teletubbies, this is what I'm saying before. Oh, look at that bad-mannered boy dropping all of his loot as soon as he goes down there. What a jerk. Oh, my goodness. Teletubbies down 2 players. Miramar is just not their map, man.
No, and I mean, and that's one of those rotations where you got to be like,
Zweitype losing 2 players as well.
Why are you still here?
Zweitype just lost 2 of their players, a 3rd place team.
All right. So, I mean, I don't think we've seen any deaths from Bonzo. So, yeah, Bonzo still going strong.
Center zone.
Yeah.
Center zone.
Close to it.
No, they're only 3 up. Only 3 up.
All right. I mean, Smart Select is still alive, which
Look at him hacking through the. Look at him hacking, opening the door, and you can't open doors inward in this game, Charity. Rashku hacker. I'm kidding.
The accusation's going strong here. We'll see if Rashku has a rebuttal.
Didn't say anything.
No, I didn't hear anything.
I have no earpiece in, but I didn't hear
Confirmed.
anything.
Confirmed. Phobes able to make it inside the circle and get a
Phobes?
pretty good location, and then Yalal rotating along. Now Yalal's, this dirt path is honestly, this is one that I would have expected to be camped. It has multiple shacks along the road that is just begging to have someone sitting in them, and that's honestly like an extremely common, right? The SKS shots raining out, multiple different guns raining out onto Yalal, but none of them being able to connect. Probably damaging up his vehicle a little bit, but not enough. Tanaka connecting with Sociopath. I wonder if that's going to be able to
Oh my god, Team Almost, they're going for a full 4-man camp strategy. Corey able to turn on evasion, get a nice headshot, but not, the trade does occur. So 3v3 rocking out here. Tanaka, if he gets down here, he is not getting rezzed. Help will not arrive. A flush could occur as he actually begins getting third party as well from Zwitap, the team that they had harassed earlier, holding a compound almost here. They're trying to go for a very, very wide strategy, camping out the entire central side of the northern edge. It's very, very optimistic, and they've already gotten 2 kills from it. Let's see if they get some. If they can get 3 more versus Winzy as they make the win for the north.
16 teams alive, and we're only seeing 5 inside circle. That's just
Ooh, another
so
fight
many
breaking on the northwest side. More fights breaking in the middle of the zone. It's just west end of the zone is where you want to watch. There's a fight breaking out right now as teams are definitely taking their sweet time making it. Oh my god,
nade.
Panda team.
Here goes.
Oh no, Sanji
that looks good.
making his frag.
That looks good.
Oh,
bounced a little too far.
The hood, and it wasn't pushed out 100% properly, but they realize how much trouble they're in. One lucky frag, and Panda team is out. Exo healing, Magisterzi getting the res onto Amzi. And as I say that, Mutant Gaming having reinforcements pushing in from the north, but not
Good job,
in
Panda.
time. They're using the smoke, a beautiful smoke cloud leading them into the defilade to their south, disengaging, as well as Dablo already on the far, far southwest side. Away from this fight as well, and Team Ready coming in.
No.
Oh god, this is the last thing that Panda team needed as a team coming from the west. 6-0 driving on the road, but actually no, he sees him. He knows that there's a fight. Kills to be had, almost 3 kills if you just don't get turned on with a bolt action. But as long as Panda team is moving, they're moving hard to hit at this range, jumping around, driving left and right, and as of this point, Panda team, or excuse me, Team Ready unable to find it down yet.
He's surrounded.
Memo Effect's going for a push.
Dablo literally has Team Ready all around him, and Memo, it doesn't look like he gets any shots connected with Panda Team, but Panda Team is getting taken down by Mutant. This is literally third party after third party. Dablo's just hoping no one spots him out. He does have a good little bank here. Xvolution running down straight into Iroh. He doesn't know he's there.
Oh, Iroh looking right.
Oh!
Doesn't get the turn either. His teammate there,
There it is.
to help him out.
There's 2 down. Dablo, shoot him!
Dablo, go for the kills!
My God! If you're playing solo, you have to go for the kills at this point, or at least kill Memo here, and then immediately finish everyone. Chuck a nade, get a nade over there, Dablo.
Oh, he's like looking away, like see no evil, hear no evil.
No,
you can
see in the mini map. He's alt looking. He's laying prone there, but he's alt looking. His cursor is pointed in their direction, so he knew they were down there.
He's on zone.
Yeah.
You need to do this.
I'm not gonna lie, my palms would be sweating so hard if I saw 2 downs in front of me.
Nerves,
I would be like, oh my god, I'm about to get 3 kills.
Oh man,
oh, no, Phobes.
His reward for earlier getting gunned down at the hands of Mutant Gaming. Ripper as well from Kanye 2020. All these teams that were associated in the Picado fight are getting ripped to pieces as they are late. Their rotation did end up getting camped, as you were suggesting earlier, by Super Saiyans, able to take down another member of Rarity. Now down to 2 players they are. And now as the zone focuses in on the far south side, a bunch of open fields is all that's left. And once again, Teletubbies, the remnants of them in center zone.
Yep. Dablo finally being spotted out by Beautiful Death. And that just Ronin connecting the shots onto Beautiful Death, taking him down. So return fire coming out, lowering Ronin's health to 39. We're probably going to try and get some shots in.
If you're Polar Race and you're in like last place, you just rip Team Ready apart. That must feel so good for you. Team Ready, man. Like, we just demolished them. There's still 6 up. They got to find him somewhere along this ridgeline. They know he's there. But a great job from Polar Race to take on Team Ready on their wide rotation around the south side.
Yeah, I completely agree.
They see him. They see him going for the smoke. They see his little head wiggling around.
Just keep shooting
there.
in the smoke. Oh, the nade. That's a good nade right there.
Airburst spell cooked way too long. It's a little bit burnt right there. And 6-0 Where'd that bike come from? What? What? The time to be an action hero is now. You have a bike, 6mo just spawns out of the nether and somehow able to keep it straight along the steep
Billy
cliffs.
goating it all the way.
For real, where'd it come from?
I honestly, I have to guess it might have been, it had to have been a leftover bike.
I think it was from his.
6mo, I don't think they had a two-seater. They were running in and they had a Murado, I saw.
I mean, if it just teleported, I wouldn't even be mad. Because it's like so appropriate. Looking over here, story of Corey going for a spray down on Bonzo team. Rocky Cutie, he's the third player on the team. He can't afford to go down here, but story of Corey going for the chase, going for the flush. Bonzo now down to 2. The leaderboard. Oh! Story getting a second kill. There's only one player left. If he gets a flush, there's one player left up on Bonzo. Going in from the right, Raj, who is able to take Corey out. Winsy with 2 kills. Definitely a good showing for a Snake, but Rajku, the last player left up from Bonzo team, is not going to be able to make anywhere near as explosive a finish as he would want. Important to note as well, Teletubbies in center zone in a very, very, very hard to stay alive in zone. But as I say that, 11 teams up, 24 people alive.
Yeah,
so many solos, so many Snakes.
Yep, entirely. And you do have Rarity pushing the final 2 members of Teletubbies. And I mean, realistically, Teletubbies, they need a good game here to take first place. It can't just be like, oh, out survive Bonzo. Because realistically...
North side, we do see a 1v1 between Bonzo and Super Saiyan. 1v1 Rios, and he heard the shots go down. But as I said, that team almost, they smell it. They know what team this is. They're hungry. But they do begin getting shot in the back with a 4-minute mutant, and they will be taking that. A 1v1 and a 4v4 are going on at the same time. Rios now getting pushed in from the zone. Rashku, hearing the shots break out, doesn't know which way to look. But when he hears the footsteps of Rios, and that's when he knows. He sees him behind the box. Maybe you can hear him as well. The frag being primed, chucked over the crate, but cooked a little bit, so it still
did get damage. Yeah.
What a nutty frag from Rashku as he breaks his way around the east side of these crates, but Mime getting pretty close.
Oh, underhanded
as well. The underhanded grenade on the side,
but
too far, overcooked as well. Rashku might have been heard moving around here on the side as well, but this is as the zone begins going in. Oh god, that frag
that's a good one.
Right,
Rash runs into blue.
That
Smart.
was the only one that wasn't cooked. He's gonna be okay. Mime hears him running into the blue. As that does no damage for me. Getting shot from Mutant as well. Forces Mime back into his cover on the high ground. He wants Rashku to dead. He wants that so bad, but look at this Rashku going around the back. Riozen will be able to hear it any second now. This is such a scary play for Rashku as he gets shot by Mime. Oh god, what a tease.
As soon as he rounded that corner, I was like, dang, Ryozen took him down quick. He was low, but no, that was just Mime. That's too funny. And Ryozen, that's got to be hilarious from his point of view, because he hears these footsteps coming and they get closer and closer and closer, and he's like, all right, action, here it comes. And then all of a sudden Mime's like, nope, that's mine.
You know, I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I did kill Mime in a 1v1 once.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Someone signed this guy.
Yeah, signed me. I play comp once.
There we go.
I play once. I play comp once. I cast the video game. I'm good at talking. 6mo here, trapped in the middle of nowhere, getting shot third party from about 500 meters to his east. Able to take cover on the LP's boxes. Going to be going on here, finding some cover, getting right under the noses of the Teletubbies, but Mamek hearing him. Rip indeed. 6mo's journey is over, and just before he gets into the points.
And so we did see, we saw Bonzo go out early there, outside of the points.
Team Almost.
Team Almost, we still have Yusugul.
What happened?
Well, they only had 3 men up. Mime, I'm guessing, did not make it back across that street because that push was going to be so hard.
Mutant happened.
Yeah, right. Mutant Gaming, their positioning here on the north side is amazing. They did lose 1 member in that push over, but they picked up a lot of kills there.
They're really good at playing spoiler.
Yeah.
They're really, really good at identifying good spots early on, at figuring out the exploitations and people's strategies and putting themselves in a good spot here. Meanwhile, as White as well, realizing they need some kills if they want to maintain their third place presence on the leaderboard, taking down Darth and Ryan during their wide rotate to the south side. Unfortunate to see as well, because if they just stuck a little bit closer together, they can just easily, while they're running in the open field, turn on these 2 players. They're harassing them, and all of a sudden, 4v2, you don't have any cover, sure, but that's a lot of gunfire you're putting down towards only 2 players.
Right. I mean, and that's what's great about their position is they can third party pretty much anything in this area. Besides maybe a little bit to the north because you run the risk of Rarity
really like
third
this spot.
partying you. Yeah, it's amazing.
For Polar Race.
Polar Race as well. Yeah. Polar Race. It's a ridge line right in front of them, and then as long as they peek up over the ridge line, they see like 500 meters in front of them.
This is game winning for Polar Race. Oh, this could be their game. Finally, they're not a 16th place team, and they're going to be trying to prove this to us today as one of the only 3-mans still left up alive. They see the coming to the north. They're saying, all right, this is the place to look at, and this is the time to look as well as Teletubbies do begin moving out into the center of the zone, into that or around that open field, but they're just not quite actually watching that, covering their far north, making sure no one's wrapping on them from the south. Not sure if I like this split. The ridge line that Polar Race is currently on is one of the better spots. Over on the south side, Ronan is well, but with the 3-man, you can't do everything. I feel like you just kind of gotta pick which one you're gonna do, which place you're gonna hold, and then deal with it. Meanwhile, Teletubbies, once again, man, this team is a team of turrets. Give them a building, give them a place to hold, and they will kill everyone around that. And there's exactly what Teletubbies have found here in Phase 6 for the last couple minutes of this game.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they've gotten 3 kills, I think, so far. 2 or 3 kills to their name. And so
it's more than that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the points now, basically. 8th place, you start getting 1 point, and then 7th place, 1 point, and then it starts climbing from there. But if they can make a top 3 finish and pick up another 5 or 6 kills, they could take home first place.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing if they can do it, as that'll be a pretty big upset for a team that we've never heard of before, showing up and making some big waves here. Newton Gaming as well. I was just complimenting them. I think that they're ready for their breakout game as well. Once again, one of the only 3-man teams left up. There's no 4-man teams left up anymore at this point in the game. So there's 2 3-mans. They're ready to make some waves, but they don't have this intel yet. That they're one of the only 3-mans left. So they're just kind of breaking around, saying, all right, reasons that we're only 3, so we have to play passively. But with 6 kills, Newton Gaming, they've been having a good game so far.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, I think they've gotten that mainly from third partying rather than actual like heads-up team fights. But
yeah,
like,
any
way you can get your points, it's still points in the bank at the end of the day. And so, nice shots from Santi. None of them connecting, unfortunately, to Noob Cabra. I wonder if Noob's going to re-peek that same angle. He's not by his teammates, so he can't afford to go down here. If I were him, I'd probably regroup back up. Yasugal taking down Yalol. 7 teams alive now.
Making his way to the point. See, probably is very surprised to be seeing with 16 alive. They got 8th place, probably a little bit tilted, more than a little bit tilted, I would think, actually. Yuso does make a lot of noise and takes a little bit of damage in that fight, and that's enough for Hockey to begin moving in that direction, but that will be required, or get them shot in the back by Exodus. This 2v2 fight could be the next thing we see happen with Firefighter and Tex and Toxic on the low ground below this small stable that Arsho and Hockey are currently holding. News and Pop both want to move, as well as pretty much everyone. Big news is that Teletubbies, their compound is still in. That wall is still in. Rarity's is as well, but Mutant Gaming, they'll be pushing in, grabbing this crate, and potentially pushing the 2-man of Teletubbies.
I'm a crate list.
Well, where are they? Oh, they're both going for solo snake shots at the same time. Mimic and Rarity running parallel towards their zone. Mimic spotting them out and actually beginning to say, hold up, let's not maybe do this. He turns around. And turns right back around, saying he is just too late, as Rarity, the 2-man, claims the hard cover in center zone.
Yeah, it's not very good to play from either. That's a very tough position. I'm agreeing with what you said earlier. Polar Ace, and they are in a dominant position to take home this game. They have that entire south side to themselves besides Tex and Toxic, which they know it's probably just a solo, maybe a duo. They've taken down 1 member of this team already, and they had eyes on that location, so they probably scouted out a decent amount of information beforehand before making this push. They're going to peek right up over the ridge. Oh, not yet. Loganberry slowing down.
Tex and Toxic right below him. This is real dangerous, but Tex holding strong here. Holding here is allowing Polar Race time to regroup. At the same time as a solo, you just don't want to push up, and that is why, because unless you immediately get that kill, not going to happen. Yep. Meanwhile, Mutant Gaming going up against the Teletubbies. 2 players have gone down as they tried to bypass this comp, but I don't like that play at all. Mutant had to push this, as the spot that Grill Power is on right now is nuts if you're allowed to hold it. Meanwhile, Snip, these guys are just the leaders, the best proctors of cheeky plays I have ever seen. Just go prone and wait for them to run past you. They're going to expect you to make noise, but the boys on Teletubbies will sneak around and not make a single peep seeing a couple people below him, but still Snip right next to him, right beyond this Murado, who's not Murado being very impactful in this fight.
Yeah, and Snip, I mean, he's got a great position too. No one would expect a prone person to be sitting right there, and we saw it in the previous game with his teammate Klein. Yeah, literally just laying prone in a position that no one's really going to look right off the start. He doesn't have a helmet, so if he does get spotted,
and he gets his head blown off by Rarity.
Let's go, Sweatsky. Good shot, good shot. Taking down MTG Girl Power and eliminating MTG in
that
6th
zone
place.
for Rarity. Is this their 15-kill game? Oh, Polar Race with a very, very wide spread as they begin to push up around the south side of the zone. I'm impressed they've been able to make their way here, but this particular spot they found themselves in, it's not good, but at the same time, it's about as much as they could hope for, considering their position. So I don't really, I'm not blaming them or anything at all, but I am saying that this will be very much literally an uphill battle for them. So they need to find some intel. They need to find the best way to push up, or maybe just wait and let the zone figure itself out. But right now, I think that they should be pushing up, finding kills, finding whatever information they need, because right now they're just playing very passively.
Oh, Rarity moving again, opting to leave the shack that they were in, and they're going to push towards Teletubbies. This is an interesting call.
What? Sweatsky running out in the middle of it. It's like they knew 100% that there'd be no one up here. But there was a fight going on this entire time. How do you assume that? Meanwhile, Yuso on the high ground, shooting him in the back, but it will actually be Hockey who saves Teletubbies the trouble, preventing it from happening. Actually going through the stable, the frag does, but only a glancing blow on both of them as Rarity getting shot in the back as Polarize takes their old spot. What did I just watch?
I'm not sure. I'm not happy with that Rarity push. I get it. It's last.
I don't.
Yeah, it's in the final bit of the game. You can't really sit there and wait for kills to come to you. You got to go to them, especially if you're in the lower part of the leaderboards and you want a chance of pushing up into second place. You need to take out Teletubbies here, and then move over and take out Zwaytap, and then move over and take out Polaris. You can't just sit in the middle and hope that all these teams come to you. You're not going to rack up any points that way. So it's a last-ditch effort push. I think the numbers dwindled a little bit quicker than they had expected. If I was Rarity, I would have taken out tried to take out Teletubbies earlier in the game whenever they were sharing the compound with them. Because going to the shack, there's just not much that the shack offers.
That's true. At the same time, I feel like that north push is like the most dangerous that I push on by far. Going into the open field, so easy to get third party.
Oh, that push right there, yeah, that was
very one-dimensional cover.
Yeah.
Polar Race able to take their old spot, and at this stage of the game, dead center. Polar Race has got it. They have almost nothing to contest them. They have Teletubbies to their northwest, who has made it to the top 3. Might be enough points on placement alone to rocket them past Bonzo. Only time will tell. As well as YTAP, another team that we were saying, look at these guys, see what work they get done, and once again making their way into another top 4 position. They got 4th place last game, and they were consistently improving in 3rd place this time around.
And I mean, they've got some kills to their name. If they were to wipe out the remaining 4 members,
one shot, he gets a first aid off.
The nade not going far enough, unfortunately. See if the next one does. Oh, barely on the other ridge from our show.
Nubacabra taken down.
Snip.
Teletubbies during their push as well. 1 player down, and they're keeping both of these teams back at the same time. Essentially a 3v4, and they're making it work. Hockey now prone here on the side, trying to get whatever placements points he can. They believe that Mammoth going for a similar play on his side of the zone. Hockey now going for a push. Running no longer covering it as he backed off over that ridge. If he just walked back over this ridge, you would easily see this player going for the peak, but losing the spray trade. There's no one there to actually cover him as well. They're going for the trade rather, but Lockenberg does eventually find it during an overcommit by Hockey. 2v1 now going out in favor of Polarace as they decide to not go for the res quite yet. Lockenberg will now be going for it, going for the res while Nubacabra holds the west side of the field using the smokes as cover.
Yeah, and it's a smart play to go for the res there. They had the time. If they get that res, it's now 3v1. Oh, Noob.
He saw him. Yep. I was going to say, Hamamic, you can't assume that Polar doesn't see it there. And this is going to be Polar Ace's first win of the night after a very, very rough set of games, 1 through 3. They were literally going at this one in last place and going in, proving that they are, in fact, a force to be reckoned with. The main 3 of the roster getting 9 kills to their name. Ammo, dying pretty early. What can you do about it? They played it really well in the mid-to-end game, though.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a good way to go out in the final game. I mean, if you're a last place team, there's really 2 routes for you to do, and it's either show up big for the final game or hot drop another team and try to go out early. Don't get me wrong, there's other things. You could in somewhere in the middle of the pack too. Hundreds of different options actually. But for the most part, I think that's the two most common things is if you're in last place, you see the team either do stuff that allows them to get plenty of kills, but it's a little higher risk, higher reward. Polar Ace kind of stuck to their guns and played the game the way they normally play it and just kind of hang out, eliminate what they can in front of them, take good position, and kind of work from there, rather than doing an open field push like Rarity towards the end there. And so that was kind of like the YOLO, like last minute, last ditch effort.
I just realized something.
Let me hear it.
Bonzo's team has already qualified for the finale.
Okay.
Bonzo's team is almost certainly in second place. Teletubbies is almost certainly in first place.
Yeah.
So second place is not getting a slot because it's Bonzo team, probably.
There we go.
So third place, which is very, very, very much up in the air.
Zwaytap. They were in third by a little bit of a chunk.
Who was in fourth again? I don't remember.
Zway.
Sorry, Beyond Zway. Whoever was Beyond Zway.
You know, I'm drawing a blank, honestly.
Oh man, was it like maybe Team Almost Panda? Well, I think it was.
Oh,
Panda
I think it was
team.
Panda.
I think it was Panda. They got out really early, so it's probably just gonna be Zwaytap, I think, going into the finale here. That is my prediction. First place Teletubbies, second place Bonzo, third place Zwaytap, with Zwaytap getting the entryway into the finale because Bonzo has already got a
qualified.
slot.
All right,
I think that's what's going on here.
They are doing the scores back in production right now. Oh, there we go. Right,
Baby,
1 point difference.
Again, 2 weeks in a row. This score system is nuts, man.
I love it. I love it. And look at Teletubbies though. Like, okay, so here's what it came down to: the final game, the point difference. Literally 11th place. If Bonzo team picks up one more kill, that goes into ties, and then we look at who gets more kills. But just some quick maths: 19 kills, then 31 kills, then 34 kills total for Bonzo team, and 19 plus another 19, so 38. That's impressive.
Dude, Teletubbies, I don't care what anyone says. Teletubbies got lucky as hell there at the end of that game.
You think?
Like, Mutant Gaming should have pushed that building every single time because there was a little chest-high wall that had coverage over the entire zone. You could even leave around it from the north side, wrap around to the low ground. Like, it was such a good spot for a team to be at. And Mutant Gaming sort of not zooming in on their map as far as it could go and realizing, wait, that wall is still in, and realizing that someone could be there. It's a bit of a misplay from them, but mostly it's a misplay that got Teletubbies like literally like the 2 to 4 extra placement points that they needed to get past Bonzo team. So definitely skill based that they got as far as they did, but oh my god, it was so close between them and Bonzo team. At the end of the day, though, it will be Teletubbies getting themselves an invite into the 5K finale at the end of the season alongside Zwaytap. Bonzo, I'm pretty sure they got first place last week, so they don't need a second invite. They already got one, so it's going to third place, going to Zwaytap. And I think that 37 points might be the lowest required points for an invite, like, for the finale that we'll ever see.
That is still just crazy to me how close these games have been. I mean, back-to-back weeks we've seen 1 point, 1 kill make a difference. And, you know, I'm sure throughout the series there was at least once for each team, honestly probably for each team in the game, but where 1 kill was stolen from you, where you got the knock and someone else finished the kill. Yeah. Or where you stole I mean, Bonzo might have stole a kill right towards the end there, and boom, that's the 1 point. I don't know. Either way, congratulations to both those teams. They showed up today, played lights out. We had first, and a third, and then a first, second, and then both 11s. Yeah. And so the placement points were just phenomenal for these teams. But then the kill points as well, getting 34 and 38 kills respectively in 4 games, like it's impressive.
It's really impressive. Their consistency was truly a sight to behold.
Even in the 11th place games, they both picked up multiple kills.
Yeah. even like, you know, taking these losing fights, you're squeezing a couple extra kills out of them. And frankly, 11th place, that's like dying in the mid game.
Yeah.
Like they didn't die early. They just like took a fight like, all right, well the fight didn't work out for them, and they ended up dying anyway. So definitely just living and dying, and honestly winning by their style. So $400 going in for Teletubbies. I think it's 200 going in for the boys. Oh my, Bonzo team, and then third place is YTAP. They'll be bringing 120 home for themselves, as well as first and third getting an invite into the finale at the end of the season for 5K. Hope you guys enjoyed SSL this week. We'll be coming back this Thursday with an interview. Gonna be making Thursday time slots and normal things, so make sure you guys tune in on those days, as well as next Sunday for SSL Week 5, number 44. Don't miss it. That being said, it's been me, myself, Fuzzy Seal and Charity. Hope you guys had a good one. We'll see you later this week.